Tranquilo, everybody. Tranquilo. Good morning, everyone. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Everything, I don't mean to be patronizing, but everything is going to be okay. Take yourself a nice, big, fat, deep breath. Let's all do it together. 1, 2, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Big one. 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Feel better? I learned that from Bryson DeChambeau. That's his bit. A
6-second breath.
6-second breath in, 6-second push out. And you immediately feel better every time, no matter what you're doing. If you're about to make love to your wife, give yourself a nice...
Hang on. Sorry, babe. All right.
Unless you're swimming underwater.
Don't do that,
Don't
yes.
do that.
Correct.
You're not going to feel better.
Everyone, just calm down. It's going to be okay. Happy Friday to all of you guys. You're listening to Ben and Woods. You're listening on 97.3 The Fan. You're watching on YouTube. I want to shout out to our Twitch channel. We don't give you guys enough love. There's a lot of you over there. I really need to dig into that a little bit. But, man, a lot of people consuming this show. We really appreciate you any way that you do it, all right? I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
And Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning. Fun Friday, of course. And I don't take this the wrong way because I love you and I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're here. Why do you sound like death? Like your voice?
It's
You also
cashed.
look like you got in a fight last night.
I think the word fight is...
No, there's no injuries.
No,
Paulie.
there's no injuries.
He
don't
looks
have a
like he
black
slept
eye,
under a bridge.
I had it was a rough night last night.
Bender?
No, God,
okay.
I wish. Benders are, they're fun in the moment, certainly. But no, last night was worse than any. It's not worse, but last night was as challenging of an evening as I've had in a long time. Now, you guys dropped the hammer on me yesterday and said you're not going to stay to the end of the game. If you stay to the end of the game, we'll each give you $10. I got my 20. Paulie gave me a 10 in cash. Benny Venmo'd me. I got my $20.
You were there all the way to the bitter
the bitter end.
end.
I would have paid you guys $40 each to leave early because I do. You know how I feel about superstitions, and when I leave the game in usually like the 6th or the 5th or whatever, here's the problem though. Last night was cruising. I looked up. I'd been there an hour. We're in the 6th, and I'm like, well, I got to sit this one out and make my $20. This is going to be easy. Bring in Bobby fastballs to close it down.
The Padres and the NFL game kicked like right around the same time.
Same time, because there was a little bit of a delay in the NFL game.
And it was like the beginning of the third quarter when the Padres game was wrapping
It was
up.
nuts, dude. It was nuts. But I feel like it was last night was a challenging night. And anytime you go to the ballpark with your family, it's a challenge. Because I have small children, 6 and 3, almost 4. That's a challenging night. You add in a couple other families and their 3 to 4 kids for a grand total of 11 children in a suite. It turns into like jump zone, except with no trampolines. It turns into like a tumbles place, but with no mats on the ground. It turns into a war zone. An absolute war zone in the suite. So it's obviously our company suite, Odyssey. I booked this for Hannah's.
Welcome to the torture chamber.
I booked this for months and months ago for Hannah's birthday, and we got there early. We were the first ones there. Sat down, and Bo and Taylor loved it. They'd never been really in the. I think Bo'd been in them once, but they looked down. They go, "Oh, Dad, this is so cool." Well, then their friends start showing up, and I've coached all these kids. I love these kids with my whole heart. But you get all these dudes and girls in a room together, and they're all, I think the oldest kid was probably 7, and there's 11 of them. And you're in for it.
Oh.
And you are in for it. Two kids walked up to me, and they said, "Can you open this?" And it was a Topo Chico. I opened it. It sprayed all over me. They pranked me. They did the shake of the Topo Chico, so they got me.
Good one.
Right there, the little turds. They were playing hide and seek. They were moving the trash cans. They were hiding. One of them tried to climb into the refrigerator in the suite, into the fridge. The chairs that they have that you sit, nice cozy chairs, but they spin.
Yeah.
So they were spinning them like they were on a merry-go-round. And mind you, this is the Odyssey Suite, so I'm a little bit on edge
Have
already.
you paid the chair damage fee yet?
I don't know.
No.
I'm still waiting for like the cleanup fee.
No.
I looked over at one point, and listen, it's just not just their kids. It's my kids. I looked over. My son Taylor, who is almost 4, took a bag of tortilla chips, threw them on the ground, and started walking on them, crunching. You know why? Because he liked the sound of it.
Oh my!
One of the other kids, they had a little cup of water. You know what he did? He thought it was fun to take the little cup of water, it was about half full, take another empty cup, push down on it so the water would overflow like a volcano. So they were doing that. That was badass. I loved that. So it was. They're screaming. They're not sitting and watching the game. Bo watched a couple innings, and he was fine. And then I was over-explaining things to him. So he's like, I'm going to go play with my friends. So that's on me. But it was
let me
like...
just to clarify, because I've seen the questions in the chat, and I did as well.
I haven't seen
This
that
was
yet.
the Odyssey Suite.
Correct.
Presumably, you did not have to pay even for the Odyssey Suite last night?
I did not have to pay for the
Right.
Odyssey Suite.
And you were at a suite at a baseball game.
Yeah.
And you're kind of complaining about
I'm not complaining about the suite. The suite was
The suite
spectacular.
was fine, yes, but
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it have been worse even if you had been out and about? I mean,
Well, so if you're out and about...
I'm just saying, are you sounding a little spoiled for the small little issues you had to deal with?
So if we're out at Gallagher Square, have a ball, guys. You're in the middle of a field. It's like, let's say you had 11 wild horses. Would you rather be with your wild horses in a giant field, or would you rather put them in a room and hang out and watch the game in a room? You have 11 wild horses in a room no bigger than this, and you're like, this is great. I'm going to eat while you guys buck and
Big
kick
open
and
field, they can get lost.
Yeah, they can graze, they can run, they can dance, they can do whatever they want.
You probably could have traded with 20 Padres fans in Gallagher Square who had those tickets, given them the suite, and you could have just gone out there.
I would
with
have
kids.
in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. In a New York minute. In a New York minute. So, and also, like, here's the thing. I'm hyper. You guys know me. I'm hyper aware. I have to be watching them with one eye. I can't sit down in good conscience, even though it's my job, and watch the game while I don't know what my kids behind me are doing. Some say that I may be a helicopter parent. I look at myself as like, no, I got to watch my kids. It's part of the gig. I got to make sure they're not lighting fires and, breaking stuff. So I was kind of one eye open. Hannah would work a shift, and then I would work a shift, and whoo, it was a lot. So the other thing is it's loud, man. It's loud at Petco Park. So every conversation is like, I like this kid a lot. What? I like this kid. I like the way he swings. Watch his feet when they're always moving. He's always you always have a responsibility when you're playing middle infield. Watch him take this throw. So the whole game you're screaming like at the top of your lungs. So we stayed the whole game. I left there. I was battered, man. I was like, we sat in traffic.
8 o'clock.
What time did it? Whenever it ended,
Probably about 8.
We kind of skedaddled down and went down to the car. And then you get in the car and you're like, all right, you guys, pack a lunch because we're going to be here for a minute to get out on Imperial. And man, I was pretty gassed yesterday after got up. I was here at like 4:30, and then we had the round table, and then we had marriage counseling, and then we had to go straight down to we pick up the kids from school, go down to the field. I was gassed. And then to lose that game last night in that fashion. Now, we win that game, maybe a different story. When you're one pitch away from winning it and you don't, it's really tough. But the good news is tonight should be a nice, relaxing night as we head down for family staycation. And guess where we're staying tonight?
The Margaritaville. I know that Jimmy Buffett tune.
Do you guys remember?
Downtown.
Yeah. Do you guys remember? Like 6 months
With the
ago?
kids?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Downtown.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You guys remember last year?
Some people plan their whole years around the couple of days they get to go to San Diego and stay at the
weekend in San
Margaritaville and Maybe get to go to Petco Park,
Right.
stay in a suite. Once in a life, maybe they get to go in a suite.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to call some BS on this. You're telling me that someone's once-in-a-lifetime trip is to come to the Gas Lamp and stay at the Margaritaville Hotel.
I don't know about that.
I am, in fact, saying that.
So, you guys remember about 6 months ago, my wife and I went to a gala, and it was a dress-up gala, and at the end of the night, she looked at me, she goes, I effed up. And I go, what did you do? And she goes, I bid on like 25 hotel stays. And I said, why did you do that? Where are they? And she said, well, they're all local. So I start going through the thing, and I go, the Radisson by the airport. All right, for one night, Tuesday, Thursdays only. Okay? Good call. Comfort Inn and Suites in Poway. One night, Wednesdays only. This is an extended stay. We can do this either Monday through Wednesday in
Extended
September.
Stay San Marcos.
Yeah, extended to San Marcos. The one on there that was even remotely captivating was Margaritaville. I tried to book it. So when we got it, I tried to book it. And the lady was like, oh, yeah, we're booked. And also, you're not going to be able to use this. Finally, we tried to book it again. She's like, I think it's expired. And Hannah raised. She pitched a fit. She talked to the director of the charity. The guy was like, whoa. Let me make a phone call. So we're in tonight, me, Hannah, the kids, at Margaritaville Hotel downtown.
Some reps from the estate of Jimmy Buffett.
Yes.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this,
Bro, and I'm gonna be there better be a red carpet when we walk in there with coconuts filled with rum, the whole bit. I want all of it.
Careful what you wish for and complain for, because now you have to go to the Margaritaville this
Dude.
weekend.
So
I've heard it's actually pretty nice.
I bet it.
Yeah.
We ate in there, and I was like, I love it. It was a tropical vibe. It was really cool. But our buddies, they're always in the chat. Divine Sports Gospel is a podcast. They're Padres fans, good kids, man. And they are doing a podcast at East Village Tavern and Bowl, like a pregame show. And they asked me if I would come down, and I'm like, bro, I'll be there. I'll literally be downtown.
You know, Woods won't turn down a podcast.
I will not turn down a
request.
podcast. I got to be out there selling, and I like these guys a lot. They're good kids. So we're going to bowl as a family. I'm going to do a 20, 30-minute hit with them, and then we're going to go kick it at the Margaritaville. So that's our night tonight.
Well, Woodsy, I'm very sorry about your living nightmare of the suite at the baseball game and the downtown resort.
hotel
While Paulie and I lived the life. Paulie, his power went out due to a fire in Escondido yesterday.
It was only 105
105-degree
degrees,
weather, and we have to put down our beloved Reggie today after 15 years. Today is the day that he crosses the Rainbow Bridge. So we're living the high life while you are stuck in your miserable existence this weekend, and we are very sorry for you and all your troubles and travails.
I was going to say, maybe I feel bad. No, I don't feel bad. I still don't feel bad. But I feel bad that you have to put Reggie down. How many years old?
15.
That's a straight up one of these. 15 years as a dog is that's a good life. You guys gave him a good life.
That's a long life.
Yeah, that's
It
a
is.
long life for that
He
big
was a
boy.
really, really good dog, and we are going to miss him a lot. And I think I might have waited one day too long, though, because I got home last night and there was dog diarrhea all over the dining room. And I was like, no, it's too late. Just one day.
Final gift. When we had to...
That's not his fault. He's very old, and this is just, he's just falling apart at the seams at this point, and it's time. But it is sad, but it's confirmation for me that it is time, at least.
Yeah, it's
So,
always a hard call, and I had to take my orange cat in and do the same. And that SOB, before I let him go, bit through my finger, bit through it. I had to go get shots, the whole thing, and I was like, thanks for one last gift.
He's been sweet all the way to the end.
Yeah,
that's
he's a sweet
the
pup,
hard part.
man.
You look at he's still him, and you look at him, and he's still sweet, and he's him, but he can barely move, and it's just, it's time.
All right, we'll give it the Ben and Woods treatment when we come back.
Oh, thank you
All right,
for
you're
that.
welcome.
We also will pay off, because we totally missed it yesterday. We apologize.
Oh, we totally forgot. It threw us off.
Pay
It's not
off
our
Jesse's Incorporator, because we did it. Usually he does it on Tuesday, and we pay it off on Wednesday. But Jesse joined us on Wednesday because there was no game on Tuesday, and then we're like Thursday. We got nothing.
don't do the
We don't do the
Incorporator on
Incorporator on Thursday, so we all
It's a
just
good one.
forgot about it.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, and it was a good one. So we will pay that off and set the menu for you when we come back.
Bull
If
says,
you want to send cards or anything to Woods, sympathy on his experience, you send them care of Odyssey San Diego.
Cole said, Paul almost caught fire last night, and Woods doesn't feel bad. I did. I was very concerned when Paulie texted us that his power went out. He said, you guys may not get the rundown. I'm like, bro, I don't care about the rundown. Get your AC working. Get the hell out of there,
sorry
whatever.
your child was stepping on a bag of chips, Woods, at the game.
Thoughts and prayers to you.
It was
sweet.
It was more than that. They tried to get in the fridge, the little fridge.
They were never going to fit.
I swear to God,
they were tiny.
I swear to God, they were drinking out of the toilet because I saw a bunch of them in the bathroom together, and I think they were drinking out of the toilet. I love these kids. I love them. I've coached them all, but being their coach gives me the right. I can yell at them a little bit, so it was kind of fun. That's why my throat is pretty cash.
Throw around the roach. I know it didn't work last night. In fact, I have a theory that perhaps the Tigers stole the roach at some point, so we may need more security around the roach. And we'll come back after a check of Kelly's traffic. Whoa, what a fun Friday this is turning out to be.
Super good.
On San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. technically, he's not gone yet. He might be listening right now. That could be awkward, but it is a weird phenomenon knowing that it's a few hours away.
Yeah. Happens to all of us.
Well, maybe not specifically like this, but yeah, eventually,
Some of us.
one way or another, yes. Every living creature, even redwood trees, after many, many hundreds of years, happens to everyone.
I'm sorry about your dog. It's never easy to say goodbye to a family friend and a companion, certainly. And Reggie's a good boy, man.
I had to do it in January. That was
Yeah.
the first time I've had to go through that. My childhood dog was living with my dad when I wasn't there for it.
Was that a farm?
To be the one that makes the call though, or be responsible, like it's a weird feeling.
Sucks.
Like it's not a human, I get it. You're not pulling the plug on Granny or something. But dude, to make that decision and come to that point where you're like, this is the only choice. This is the right thing to do. That sucks.
Driving down to the vet and then being in there and holding their little paw is like the worst day of your life. My dog Max, who was so abused and beaten to death and hated everyone literally but me. Hannah, I mean, Hannah would walk in the door, he'd go, and that dude died in my arms. And I asked my wife, I've never lost a pet till that age. This is maybe 9 years ago. I'd never lost a pet, and I was holding him in my arms, and he passed away in my arms, and tears were jumping out of my eyes. I mean, I couldn't cry, and there was it just didn't stop.
Dude,
it was
I
awful.
was a mess for like a week.
Yeah, it's tough, Benny. It's tough. Now we've talked about this because I've lost, since we've started the show, I've lost about 8 pets, shredded by coyotes. Strokes. Like, it's been a horrible run of pet losses. Now, you typically are the more I'll be fine. I'm gonna put my head down. This one's getting to you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be tough. I know it's the right decision. So
Yeah,
that
it makes
gives
it
you
a little
bit
easier.
of
Have you had to
comfort.
put down
No,
a dog?
this is
No.
the first time. This is our first pet. We
wasn't
we didn't
sure.
have we had the kids, pretty young, and we didn't have any pets until Jack was around. What is he now? He's 21. So Jack was around like 6, and we decided, okay, I think it's time. Let's get a puppy. So we went and adopted one, and Reggie was like the runt kind of the litter. Shelley's aunt was a vet. And she said, "Oh, this would be a good one for you guys."
Yeah.
He's going to be kind of a little more docile, and he was really good dog for 15 years. I mean, some of the puppy hijinks, but after that, he was really good and sweet, and he was a great pet. But I've never done this.
It sucks. I'm going to tell you. It's strap in, man.
So they asked me, do you want him back after
Yes.
it's over?
The answer is yes.
And my instinct was no.
Yeah, you want him.
But then Shelley said, "Oh no, we want him back."
Yeah, you got to have him back.
So we're gonna get him back.
I've got an assortment of urns in our home of cats and dogs.
She wants to like put him in like a necklace or something. Like they do that, I guess. So
Yeah. My wife wears her father around her neck, but not any of our pets. And I don't wear any of our pets. But I love it's a hard day. It's a gut check time. I mean, it really is a gut check time. And
do you feel like Lauren is with you because he's around her neck all the time?
Yeah.
Even in private moments?
That's the most important part for her, that she feels it. But yeah, I told you guys know when I go, you better bring me home, and you better have everyone better carry me everywhere they go. I don't ever leave me in a box or even on a shelf. I need to be with you guys
My wife
wherever
has
I go.
her dad,
Yeah,
and our dog.
the necklace.
Right? No, in a box,
In a box.
frame.
Yeah, we've
picture
got.
frame.
They can make jewelry out of it.
I think she wants to. At some
Yeah,
point.
it's really good. You should do that maybe for Christmas or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea. So
Maybe her birthday.
Her birthday? I'm sorry, Benny. It's a tough day. It's a really, really tough day. So let's have some laughs and some hijinks today, because the rest of your day is going to suck.
Yeah,
I
we talked
also-
about that fun baseball game last night. That'll be great.
Yes. Such good vibes. Cody in the chat says, Pause into Grace is a great service. They come to your house,
Yeah.
Benny. Woods, you recommended them
Yep.
to me back in January. I did use them. I I did offer them to Ben. I sent them the link. I said, you said you were going to go to the vet.
We have our vet that we've had for a few years.
Yeah.
We like her. She's very caring.
I just want to send this over
yeah.
just in case you change your mind, because for me personally, there was no other way.
It's literally right across the street. It's very close.
Yeah.
So
That's where I took my dogs.
Go. Yeah.
But I wanted to specifically mention that company. I'm sure I mentioned them back in January when I use them. Woods, you've probably shouted them out when you use them. That's such a tough job. And they are
terrible.
Absolute professionals of making you feel comfortable and okay through that process. I was like, man, every house that this woman goes to do her job, it's like the worst day of the year.
The worst day of that people's lives. Yeah.
Every
it's terrible.
single job, they're just horrible.
Well, can you imagine if you had to rent a funeral home, a mortuary?
No, I couldn't
And that's what
imagine.
you did.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It's fascinating. I mean, the show 6 Feet Under was one of my favorite HBO series, just because it was just like a fascinating glimpse into a life. There was actually a reality show about a funeral home. I think it was like in Poway that they had on for years. We watched that too. Just it's an interesting. Obviously, someone has to do it. All these jobs,
100%.
Yeah.
And it ain't cheap either. So it's
it was worth every penny for me.
Us too.
But
Give Reggie
send off.
the send off the way we
And
do.
I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So,
Police.
shout out to his family.
Didn't see that coming. No. You got me. That was good. That was good.
You son of a bitch.
Can we sneak in the Incorporator? I promised it. We need to finally pay
You
it
have
off.
to laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah,
sometimes
we have to pay off the Incorporator. So Wednesday we had
God, you bastard.
we had Jesse on, and we had Welsh Fryer was in studio.
Yeah.
So we combined the two together and came up with the Incorporator for this week. Now we're actually going to give you the simplest Incorporator word you've ever had in the history of this game. Your Incorporator word today is baseball, except you have to say it in Welsh. Tom?
Pelvas.
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 Pelvas?
Yeah, P-E-L and then F-A-S, but the F has kind of got that V-ish sound to it.
You know, like
Pelvas.
Brits tend to do.
Like Old English. Like you look at the Constitution, you got those F's in there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you
Yes.
know.
All right, so this was Wednesday night.
Right.
Forgot to do it yesterday. Wednesday night. This was the Yu Darvish start. He came
Yeah,
out
and if you're listening for the first time, we give Jesse a word. He's got incorporated into the broadcast. There you go.
Yes. So this was right in the top of the third, I believe, when Yuki Matsui came in to relieve Yu Darvish. And here we go.
First pitch from Matsui is taken low and outside, ball one. So Matsui relieves Darvish, couple of Japanese-born pitchers. Great international game this continues to become. Got Bogarts and Profar out there from Aruba and Curacao, respectively. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And I like learning all the different baseball terminology from around the globe. In a lot of places, they call baseball baseball most of the time, though they do have words in their language specific to it. The Netherlands, kind of famously now, honkball is what they call baseball, so you hear that in those ABC islands. 1-1 to Torkelson. Matsui, long pause. And the pitch hit in the air up the right field line. That's foul and out of play. In Japan, they say baseball a lot, but there is a Japanese word, yakyu. And another one I learned today, pelvas.
Pelvas.
In Wales is the way that they say baseball.
Perfect. He's perfect.
That's your nugget of the game, presented
The
by
nugget of the
Chick-fil-A San
game,
Diego.
sponsor it!
21 restaurants in San Diego. You're never too
Works
far
it into a
from the home of the
read.
original chicken sandwich. Come try the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich for a limited time.
Wait.
1-2, the pitch. Torkelson swings, skies it behind second base. Xander drifting back on the outfield grass. He has got the hunk ball, and the inning is over.
He's unreal, man. He's just the master.
Had to do some research for that one.
Yeah, he
really
did.
set it up well, though.
And then worked it into the nugget of the game, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
All right, we've got, well, as you'd expect, we will work our way through our feelings of what happened last night in the ninth inning. I saw some people panicking. Some people think that drastic action is necessary. I don't necessarily agree with that, but we can certainly have the conversation about Robert Suarez. We'll do that in our Padres Wrap-Up. coming up next, and then we'll get into our usual features like Take on Woods and Don't Do This in the 7 o'clock hour. And, of course, it's a Friar Friday. Jake Mintz from Cespedes Family Barbecue at 8 o'clock. Mike Shildt, the manager of your San Diego Padres, still leading the wild card race in the National League. Don't forget, joins us at 9 o'clock this morning. It's all coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Woods and I kind of both agree where last night's game was lost beyond just the grand slam in the ninth inning. We will discuss tough 4-3 setback. Not just tough because it was painful and right at the end, but it was a missed opportunity to finally give yourself a little bit of breathing room against the Diamondbacks and the Braves.
That's what hurt
both
the
lost
most
yesterday.
to me.
Now, I know people say that, and it was written about, it was pointed out many times. Would you have rather had both of those teams won and then lost a game to them? Does that make it better? I mean, there's no.
It does.
Every game is important for the same reason.
When the
because
Giants
it's 1 out of
Diamondbacks game
162.
went final,
Yeah.
well before the Padres game, I think even started.
I stared at it all night. The score. I stared at it, knowing we're up 3-0
You're like, all
right now.
Let's
Get
get
it.
the sweep, gain a game.
Yep.
And then
I get that, but if the Diamondbacks had won 3-2, you don't need that game any less last night than you needed it because they lost 3-2.
Yeah.
It's still just one game, whether you're adding a game or not losing a game. That's going to happen every single day the rest of the season.
Well, I mean,
you will either gain a game, hold your ground, or lose a game. Every day.
It's a blown save, which computes in my brain to a blown opportunity. That's what it means. I mean, you blew an opportunity last night. It's a double blown opportunity. And so, yeah, man, obviously, when you're a strike away from winning a game with a 3-run lead and you lose the game, it's the worst day of the year.
Trust me when I say, if the Tigers come out and score 6 in the first inning, like, I'm not going, God dang it.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks lost and we're going to throw this one away. Like, you're out of it in the first inning. That game's over. But
it sucked.
To dominate for 8 innings.
To be there and see that MFer go out of the park was excruciating, knowing I should have been home in my bed. But I had to win that $20.
By the way, there were also some really good things last night, and I want to make sure we cover all of it. But first, we got to get to our Padres recap, our highlights, and Padres wrap-up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by MTS, reminding you that trolleys run every 15 minutes or better. Getting a little busier on our roads, guys. Got this crash in the South Bay now, northbound side of the 5 near Mile of Cars Way. Motorcycle involved in this one. It's in the center divide. Also, collision on northbound 805 before the 8. It's in the center divide, but looks like emergency crews have got that fast lane blocked. Now, the Credell traffic cam shows a collision on southbound 15 before Via Rancho Parkway. Vehicle facing the wrong way in the fast lane. Don't let traffic drag your day down, whether headed to the office or game day. Go the easy way with MTS. Trolleys run every 15 minutes or better throughout the day. Learn more and plan your trolley trip at sdmts.com. That's sdmts.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
Oh, a shame indeed.
It's a complete crap.
Oh, I did not like that.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
Are you kidding me?
Boo.
It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
We'll give it 16 minutes of sulk, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
It's not your fault.
Now 3-2, Mize delivers. Profar swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field, way back, way back, and gone, a home run. Not looking to walk there. His 22nd of the season, and one of the longest he's hit in 2024. Solo shot in the bottom of the first, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Here's the 0-1. Bogarts in the air to left field, well struck. Green is back. He's going to watch. It's going to go. Line drive, home run to left field for Xander Bogaerts. Second of the night for the Padres, and a 3-0 lead here in the second inning. 1-2, swung on it, missed, strike three. A 1-2-3 sixth inning for Martin Pérez, and he caps it with a K. Pitch on the way, Carpenter swings and misses, strike three. Buried a changeup, got him to chase, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 guys left in scoring position. 3-2 to Parker Meadows. The runners will go, and it's hit in the air to left field and deep. Profar's going back, still going back, at the wall, it's gonna go! A grand slam for Parker Meadows, and the Tigers go in front. It's 4-3. Down to their final strike, trailing 3-0. The Tigers get a grand slam from their number 9 hitter. And Robert Suarez has paid a price for his wildness here in the ninth. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Merrill swings and skies it into shallow center field. Meadows, who hit the grand slam, comes on, and fittingly, he makes the catch to end the ball game. Dramatic comeback win for the Tigers here in the ninth inning tonight. The Padres cannot complete the sweep as Detroit gets the grand slam down to their final strike in the top of the ninth inning to come back and win this one 4-3.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic for us. I mean, let's give him his due. He's been tremendous, and I wouldn't say spoiled us, but nothing's automatic in this game. And get ambushed with the first pitch and base hit, and they were patient. He was around the zone. Fastball was coming out good, 100, 101, but just a little spotty with the command. They were able to get a couple walks and put ourselves in harm's way, and 2 strikes and put a swing on him.
Sucked. Definitely sucked, and yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Look, I don't think this is going to be the beginning of some long stretch where the wheels fall off. I mean, I don't. I think last night was a missed opportunity to score more runs, so you didn't have to use Robert Suarez.
Agree.
I really do, and I thought that there were plenty of opportunities. Look, this team. I can't sit back and go, man, this team sure gives away a lot of at bats. I don't. That's not what I think when I think of the 2024 San Diego Padres. I really don't. I mean, everybody out there is really.
This team really doesn't come through in the ninth inning.
Yeah, boy, they're just not clutch. They're not clutch. It's hard for me to be super upset in the moment last night. Yeah, man, my heart broke. It was a heartbreaking loss last night. But the other thing that gave me a little comfort is it's baseball. Turnabout is fair play. We have done this to countless number of teams this year. We have ripped souls this year. We were due to get our soul ripped out, and how you respond is going to be the most important.
Yeah, the ledger is still very much in the black.
Oh, yeah.
In 2024.
The black is good, and the red is bad.
The black is good.
Okay.
Red is like bleeding red ink.
Okay, we're in the black.
Losing money. In the black.
Moving up.
When it comes to that,
Okay.
the ledger, that's a good thing. Now, I know there were some painful similarities to a lot of losses from last year. The 1-run loss, the late losses, not coming through with opportunities. So we have a little PTSD from last year when it comes to that. But there was one big difference that I need to point out, because it did happen a lot last year. But last year you lost a game like that to lose the series.
Yeah.
This year you lose a game like
To
that
lose the sweep.
and you just don't get the sweep. There's a big difference there, and it's a notable difference for this year's San Diego Padres. Now, I thought, and Paulie and I were watching on TV. You were obviously there.
Mm-hmm.
Neither Paul or I thought that was going to be a home run off the bat.
I did.
So maybe it was different when you were on television. Now, I will also say I didn't think Xander Bogaerts hit a home run off the bat when he hit his. It looked like a line drive, maybe even like a line drive out. I was stunned when that one went over the fence as well.
On the Grand Slam, I watched it again this morning. I was like, maybe I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, no, I still thought it looked off the bat before the camera turned.
Jesse sounded a little uncertain, but it was a good call.
I mean, the ball only went like 2 rows.
Yeah. Even the Tigers announcers, who were obviously probably very hopeful that it would, seemed a little shocked that ball left the yard.
In the air, left field side. Profar back at the track at the wall. Oh my goodness! Parker Meadows did it! That ball kept on flying, and the Tigers, like we've said all season long, are not done.
Have you said that all season long?
They have said it all season long.
We've been saying that here.
I don't know that that's a home run. I don't know that Bogaerts is a home run in April or May, but that was the hottest day of the year in San Diego. That helps the ball fly a little bit. Just one of those things as the Padres lose. Now, the big question here, and we got to dive into it. A lot of reaction after the game about the usage of Robert Suarez 4 times in 5 games. Is there fatigue? Is he overused? Should Mike Shildt have been quicker with the hook out there in the 9th inning? And ultimately, I didn't see a mistaken decision by the manager in the 9th inning. Now, that's just me. I certainly can acknowledge that there were other courses of action you could have gone with.
What would if you were, and take hindsight out of it, last night? So Bobby Fastballs had a day, he threw 8 pitches on Monday. All right. Then they had Tuesday off. Came back Wednesday, threw 19 pitches. And for me, and I have a closer down there, and I checked with him before the game, and I talked to the medical staff. How is he? Good. Okay, great. Let's roll him out there. It's hard for me to look at Bobby Suarez firing 101.9 miles an hour and go, yeah, he's tired. He's fatigued. Now, again,
sometimes fatigue
shows
manifests
up in
itself
command.
in lack of
Sure,
command
absolutely.
as opposed to lack of velocity.
Absolutely. So, if I guess, what would you have done? So you could have gone to Tanner Scott, who had thrown 16 pitches the night before, but you've already used him.
I think if I'm Mike Shildt, I do bring him in the ninth, and it's a save situation, and he obviously said before the game he's good to go. So I'm not going with Brian Hoeing. I'm not going with Jeremiah Estrada. If I lose with one of those guys on the mound, I know I'm kicking myself for leaving my all-star closer,
who, by the way,
in
said,
the bullpen,
who
said he
could
was ready.
pitch.
Then
Yeah.
why didn't you pitch him? So I'm going with Suarez. All right, so now you got to go with at least 3 batters. First batter, first pitch is a
Ambush.
single. All right, it's other way. That's all you can do with Suarez. You hope you usually. Did he pull that one? Oh, he did pull that one. You're right. You're right.
He's on it.
All right, then
It happens.
Then there's the walk. All right, that's a little more concerning. Where's the is the command off? Comes back, gets a pop out.
Gets Torkelson on a pop out.
Infield fly roll, I think. So there's one out.
One
so
away.
you could take him out now.
Now you
but
can
he just
pull
got
him.
an out.
Great pitch on the hands.
Then he walks the bases loaded.
Yep.
That's the one. They went to the dugout. They showed the shot, and I looked. All right, what are they thinking right now? Obviously, there's some concern there, but this is where you make the decision. Bases loaded, one out. You pulling the guy who has come through for you, way more often than not this season, and going with someone else. I think Jeremiah Estrada was kind of starting to get going, but was he even ready to come in? Then he comes back and he strikes out that guy with the bases loaded and 2 outs. At that point, now you're sticking with him. All right, he's found it. He's come back. He struck out a guy. The velocity is still good. There's no concerning signs that, it's only to throw a 97. I mean, that might have been my immediate, go get him, if his velocity was down. But it was still over 100. I'm sticking with Suarez at that point.
How often do managers bring in their closer to start the 9th and pull him before he blows it?
Correct.
Almost never.
Almost never.
They did it once with Suarez this year. He has done it once with Suarez. It was that game, I want to say, it was they ended up winning 10-8. Can't remember who it was against, but they brought Suarez in, gave up 3 runs. They had the bigger lead, though.
Oh, they were just on him?
And they were on him, and they took him out, if I remember correctly. That did happen once.
Yeah. Again, I'm rolling with him, too. I'm not getting Estrada out there. And now, if you want to talk about making a change at closer, I don't know that I would necessarily do that either. I look at his usage.
It's nice to have guys that you can even have that conversation.
No question, man. And honestly, man, there's three guys down there I wouldn't mind seeing in the 9th inning. And I think, obviously once you get to the playoffs, there's matchups, there's games that can be won in the 8th with let's say you're playing somebody and they've got 3 right-handers and they're coming up in the 8th inning. You may go Suarez in the 8th. I mean, in the playoffs, all bets. You may go Michael King in the 8th in the playoffs. You have no idea. Everything is wheels off. But again, you got to get to the playoffs. And so everything is going to change then. You're not going to manage the same. It doesn't have to be a set in stone. But for now, yeah, I mean, look, he's pitched in some games earlier in the season where we went, was that necessary, right? At that time, that Mike Shildt was doing that, Ben, we didn't have Tanner Scott. We didn't have Jason Adam. Estrada had solidified himself a little bit. Yuki Matsui was spotty at that time. Robert Suarez was the only guy that Mike Shildt trusted in that bullpen. So what did A.J. Preller do? He went out and got him a better bullpen. Now, if you're going to make a switch, I don't know that that's prudent necessarily right now either.
There was a moment in the game that Woods probably couldn't see as clearly because you were at the game, but on television, there was definitely a mistake that went against the Padres. Want to talk about that? Going to play some Take on Woods when we come back as well. Don't go anywhere. Ben and Woods continuing on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So let's talk about what happened in the 5th inning yesterday. Oh, by the way, I know there's a lot in the chat about dooming and glooming.
Right, it happens.
Keep in mind, that's not a game to doom about. If the Padres take a 3-0 lead into the 9th inning of every game, they're winning the World Series, no problem.
I agree. Yes,
that's not the kind of game you worry
3-0
about.
3-0 in the 9th. I like our chances most days.
Yeah, if truly Robert Suarez is struggling, they have plenty of other options that they can go to. Yesterday wasn't the day for it. Some point they might, but they're well covered. They've got depth. They've got a bullpen filled with great arms. So there's really no reason to worry about it. It's simply a lost opportunity. Now, what Woods pointed out in our last segment is that where you really lost the game is if you just added a couple of runs, you could have left some of your high leverage bullpen arms in the pen to rest. You would have had a bigger cushion. There really wouldn't have been much cause for the Tigers to even, mount that comeback. If you just got into 5 or 6, the game is probably over. But after the quick 3 runs, they just couldn't do anything else against Casey Mize. And one opportunity where they had to really add on was in the 5th inning when Elias Diaz, who got his first start behind the plate, looked pretty good. Hit the ball hard. He got the one hit, and it was to lead off the 5th, a stinging double down the left field line. So the number 9 hitter is coming up, Mason McCoy. Advanced scouts know he's going to bunt in that situation. Almost certainly get the runner over to third for Luis Arraez, try to get that 4th run on the board. And he's been really good at getting those bunts down. But the first bunt attempt kind of fouls it right down at his feet. And it rolls out in front of the plate, and then he kicks it, and the umpire rules him out. That's what you saw at the game,
That's
correct?
what I saw, yeah.
But when you're watching on television, on replay, it showed that he actually kicked the ball in the box, and then the second time he kicked it, he was out of the box. But he had already touched it. It was a dead ball. Should have been a foul ball.
Dead ball because he touched his foot in the box.
Still up, and he would have had another chance to get the bunt down, whatever. Strike one. Maybe a different inning because Arraez follows with a deep fly that would have been more than enough to sacrifice a runner home from third.
And I know all the rules now because everybody's buddy Mike Winters was there the entire time
to
break it all down.
Yeah,
all right, so
as he said, that play is not reviewable.
Diaz leadoff double. Then there was the bunt out.
Yes.
Yeah, there was the
warning track fly by Arraez to right field for the second out.
And Diaz did not tag. He was
from second to third. But then Tatis made it out. So
it didn't end up mattering. But it was one of those little things I noticed, and I went, "Oh yeah, you got to be a third there." I know he's not fleet of foot, but Ben, you make that. You can get that tag
from that deep, probably.
But he's got to be halfway at least because if it goes over his head, again, he's not
score
fast. He's got to score from second.
Yeah.
He just got caught in no man's land a little bit, just a little thing that I'm sure Shildt noticed and will clean up. But yeah, man, the bunt attempt that didn't work, it crushes you. You're fine to sacrifice an out there, Ben, if you actually get the guy over.
Yeah,
giving up an out, I guess you want to do that with Mason McCoy.
Hard to criticize when it was just a foul ball and the umpire made a mistake.
And you can't review it.
You did give the umpire a chance to make a mistake, and he did, and it ended up probably costing you a run that inning.
Yeah.
Not for sure. I mean, we don't know that he would have gotten the bunt down, but given a second opportunity, it's a good chance he would have gotten it down. Padres could have put together even a bigger inning, but that was just one of those little missed opportunities, little quirks of the game that, if they win 3-0, you never think about again in your life.
Yeah, for real.
But when you give up a grand slam in the 9th inning and you lose 4-3, you start going back and going, oh, that would have been a nice run to have back in the 5th inning.
Yeah, and I don't want to say it's indicative of the Padres' offense. Look, man, offense in baseball is a weird thing, and we have a good one. Don't get it twisted. We've got a good offense, and they have the ability to score and beat you in a bunch of different ways. The kill shot sometimes that the Arizona Diamondbacks employ, when it's like, oh, we've got Casey Mize on the ropes, we're scoring 7 off of this guy. And I thought, listen, not like the guys weren't trying to get knocks. They absolutely were. They weren't giving up ABs. Just didn't work out. Don't change much. I mean, you really don't have to change a thing. You want to definitely give guys rest, like Robert Suarez. Give them a little breather. Get them back out on the mound ASAP. We'll give it our 16 minutes of sulk. and we'll get back to it today. Beauty of baseball.
Need a contestant for Take on Woods, 833-288-0973 if you want to call in. Try to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas, 833-288-0973. A little music trivia against Woodsy. Now, there were some positives in that game. We haven't mentioned Martin Pérez. What a great start by Pérez.
Phenomenal.
After in the roundtable yesterday, we pretty much said he's probably not even making the playoff roster. And that may still be true, but what an important lift he gave the Padres. A guy that we didn't even really give any credit to, like, oh, who's this guy that AJ is just picking up for nothing from the Pittsburgh Pirates? I mean, they don't want to keep him. Obviously, he can't be any good, or they'd want to keep him around. This is actually the first time the Padres have lost a game that he started. Ironically, it was his best start by far going into the seventh and shutout baseball, and he was not happy about having to leave that game.
I loved it, man. I loved every second of it.
He did put the tying run at the plate, and they decided let's go with the higher leverage. But he was very effective, and you go back in time with the power of hindsight. Maybe you just do leave Martin Pérez in for another inning or so. He was only at 80 pitches or so.
Yeah, like 80. It was 86
was
pitches.
Was he up to 86
like
at that point? So,
I thought no problem.
I was not surprised that he came out of that game, but outstanding performance. And what I also was happy to see is that two of the guys who have not really been part of the offensive attack that much of late started hitting again. Jurickson with his 22nd home run, an absolute missile.
I had the perfect view down the line.
And Xander Bogaerts is putting together some good at-bats. 3 for 4, the home run, line drives in the ninth inning, gave him a chance, gave Jackson Merrill a chance to win. It didn't happen, but good at-bats from Xander Bogaerts. You talk about how long that lineup gets. If those guys are going, Jake Cronenworth had a double. He leads the team in doubles, and he has, 17 homers? I mean, Jake may not be an offensive superstar, but you lead the San Diego Padres in doubles, and you have 17 home runs.
Yeah, man.
You've had a pretty good season.
No doubt. He's a baseball player. Plays multiple positions. And
then we know about the rest. Manny and Arise and Jackson, what he's done.
I thought there in the ninth, Xander gets on, Jackson Merrill comes up again. I go, there's no way this kid does it again. And he put a good swing on it. Just didn't,
Yeah, that lefty was the same guy who was the opener in the first game, gave the Padres a lot of trouble as well. He started the series, he finished the series, and he was good. And that's a tough at-bat for a lefty, a rookie or otherwise, against that left-handed pitcher. And, Jackson stayed with it, had some good swing, got just under a little bit, but another good at-bat for Jackson Merrill. They're not all going to go over the fence in the ninth inning.
Yep.
All right, so we got some contestants here. Yes, we do. It is time for the Friday edition of Take on Woods. All right, let's go with Joe. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday, Friday.
Happy Friday, Friday. What are you up to today, Joe?
Just getting ready for work.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Take on Woods is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. We are playing to try to qualify for the 2-night stay at the Wynn or Encore Las Vegas and 2 tickets to the Awakening show. Thrilling spectacle at the Wynn. Tickets are on sale now at awakening.com. All right, here are your categories to play from. We've got Asian Nation, song titles with the single word ending in Asian. Little Shop of Horrors, musical artists or song titles beginning with the word little. And a new category, At the Car Wash. Those are songs with types of cars in the title. So Asian Nation, Little Shop of Horrors, or At the Car Wash, Joe?
Asian Nation.
Asian Nation. All right. That one's been sitting there for a little over a week, but here we go. We have song titles that all feature a single word ending in Asian, A-T-I-O-N. You'll have 60 seconds. Try to answer as many as the 5 as you can. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it. We will compare your score to Woods. If you beat or tie him, we'll put you into the drawing for the trip to Las Vegas. It's that simple. First question's our 2-second song. Paulie's queuing it up right now. You need to give me that title that ends in Asian and the artist to score the point. Joe, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do this. 60 seconds on the clock. The category again, Asian Nation. Joe, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods. That is correct. A 1983 hit by the Human League said to keep feeling what?
Pass.
A new what has got a hold on you in a 1987 hit from the Australian band In Excess?
New sensation.
Correct. An anthem for youthful rebellion. Pete Townsend wrote about My What in a 1965 classic by The Who?
My generation.
Correct. Jeff Beck plays the guitar for which 1984 single by Rod Stewart that reached the top 10 in the Billboard charts?
Infatuation.
Correct. Back to 1983's hit by the Human League said to keep feeling what?
Fascination.
Oh, there he goes. Well done, Joe. You are qualified for the trip to Las Vegas because Woods can't do better than 5. And if tie goes to the listener. So now we just find out whether it's a straight, outright win. Stay on the line, Joe. We'll come back to you in a minute. All right, Joe's score is locked in.
How are you?
How are you?
Good.
What are you
How
up
you guys
to out
doing?
there?
I was just chilling.
Just chilling?
Yeah.
Okay. Getting your mind right?
Getting my head
for
right.
the game?
Yeah.
All right, bring your A game today.
Okay.
No category for Woods. Makes it a little tougher. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Joe.
Pass.
A 1983 hit by the Human League said to keep feeling what?
Oh. Keep feeling something. Pass.
A new what?
Fascination.
Correct. A new what has got a hold on you in a 1987 hit from Australian band In Excess?
A sensation.
Correct. An anthem for youthful rebellion. Pete Townsend wrote about My What?
Generation.
Correct. Jeff Beck plays the guitar for which 1984 single by Rod Stewart that reached the top 10 on the Billboard charts?
Ooh. Something Asian. What is that song?
You also have the 2-second song.
Give me the
still.
2-second again.
Okay.
Taint Nation.
No. Jeff Beck, guitar, 1984, Rod
This one's
Stewart.
going to kill me. I'm out.
You're already lost because
Oh, I did?
Joe got 5 out of 5 today. Joe.
Congratulations, buddy.
Say hi to Woods, Joe. You
Vacation.
just beat him. Vacation by the
Go-Go's.
Go-Go's. And the tough one at the end, Infatuation by Rod Stewart.
Nice
You want to
work.
rub it in, Joe?
Yeah, Joe, you can rub it in. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
Nice, good. All right. Good luck
Look,
on the drawing for Las Vegas.
My velocity was good. I threw a good pitch.
The command was a little
command
off.
was a little
You
off.
figured out the category.
Yes.
We can't win every.
Which was good.
I'm not going to win every day. It's going to happen. I'm going to blow saves
Do
from
we
time
need
to
to
time.
think, Paul, about a different contestant
Right.
to take on Woods?
After what? This
Do
is
we
the
wanna
first
bring
loss
in
of the week.
Adam, is it time to go to John again down the hall? He
Maybe.
usually gets the job done. I mean, in the 8th inning when Woods isn't here,
They just flip-flop our roles.
maybe just flip-flop your roles. You
I'll go down there. I'll do Stagecoach announcement. I'll talk about Jelly Roll, headlining Stagecoach.
It's still important. It's just not the the prime spot right at the end.
Paulie, I don't know if you have the Stagecoach announcement in the Reindl Report, but I'm asking you in advance.
I did not know it was even.
It was announced yesterday. I would like to go through it line by line, okay? Because it's very, very fascinating to me.
Fascination.
Yes.
So Don't Do This is coming up next, and we've seen bad injuries happen on the field, and we've seen them happen off the field. This one, definitely one of the worst that I've seen. Not in terms of gruesomeness, just in terms of unfortunate.
You didn't even see it.
Nope.
Just terrible.
It's bad, though.
This is a terrible, terrible injury.
It's bad. That's coming up next after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. What are some of the weird injuries you remember from athletes that didn't take place while they played their sport?
Like putting on his pants
Was,
at home.
Wade Boggs broke his rib putting on his cowboy boot. Like fell over and he hit the arm of the couch.
Jeff Kent
washing his truck. But it wasn't washing his truck, was he? It was. Was he like it was a motorcycle and he said he was washing his truck and
That's
slipped.
right. He said he did.
Glenn Allen Hill was a weird one. He had arachnophobia, and he got up like in the middle. If I'm not, I don't want to blow this, but he like got up in the middle of the night because he was scared of spiders and hurt himself. There's some weird ones in baseball.
Well, I'm going to start Don't Do This today with what seems like a fairly normal injury. A pitcher throws a pitch, they come up lame. It's sad, but it happens often. You know, the Tommy John surgery, it's just tragic when you see it, but it's just a reality of life. Unfortunately, this is not that. This was Washington Spirit midfielder Croy Bethune from the NWSL and the U.S. national team, who was tapped to throw out the first pitch for the Washington Nationals against the New York Yankees on August 28th, following her gold medal success at the Paris Games. Looked like it went off without a hitch. She threw it out, got the applause from the crowd. Congratulations. But apparently, we've now found out, at some point during that heave, she tweaked her knee and suffered a season-ending torn meniscus. Like 10 games left, playoffs coming up, and she is out for the year on one ceremonial first pitch gone wrong.
You think about soccer players, absolutely elite athletes. Their skills, the way that they run, the way that they move, the cuts that they have to make, the starts and the stops. She goes out and throws one pitch and hurts her knee.
Yeah. According to Spirit coach Jonathan Giraldez, she had a problem making the first pitch in the baseball game. She is not going to be available this season.
Oh.
It is part of life. You have to keep going.
Oh, my God.
I don't think he's all that happy about it.
It doesn't.
It's not something strenuous. It wouldn't be like you would write in a contract. You're not allowed to throw out a ceremonial first pitch.
Especially as a soccer player, you don't really, you're not using your hands, your arms, really. I mean,
she could tear her UCL. She'd still be able to play soccer.
I think so. That's a tough one of the. It's again one of those freak injuries.
Oh, I remember this one when I was doing the pre and post game show. Thank you for the reminder, JH619. Adam Eaton was trying to open, those DVDs, and they came in the hard cases, and he tried to jam a knife in there, and he stabbed himself and landed on the injured list.
Where did he stab himself?
In the hand. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I got the Glenn Allen Hill story.
Yeah, tell me the Glenn Allen. Was I close?
Yeah, he went on the disabled list 1990 after falling through a glass table, resulting in cuts and bruises to his feet, knees, and elbows. Why did he fall through a glass table? He had just woken up from a nightmare about spiders chasing him, and he was very afraid of spiders.
I knew it.
So he woke up in this confused state and fell through a glass coffee table.
I mean, there's a billion of them in baseball. They always have these weird injuries.
George Brett doing laundry at home.
Milton Bradley tackled by his own manager.
Yes.
Bud Black.
Ripped his ACL or something. Yeah.
George Brett was at home doing laundry. In the other room, he had the Cubs game on TV. Brett heard the announcer say Bill Buckner, his good friend, was coming to the plate. He didn't want to miss the at-bat, so while running to the TV room, he smashed his foot on the door jamb and broke his small pinky toe. Oh my God. Had to go on the DL.
That is incredible.
I just want to know, how do you hurt your knee throwing a first pitch? I mean, it's on a mound, so I guess you're stepping down and you just, drop awkwardly.
Hyperextended or something, maybe?
Like
Oh, man.
I mean, tearing the meniscus, though, is pretty serious just one step.
That is. Poor thing. That sucks, dude. Last night, obviously there was a crazy ending to the NFL game. Apparently, I was in traffic driving home from the excruciating Padres loss. But I did see this morning the toe on the edge of the line. But the don't do this goes to Baltimore Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely, who the cameras were on Isaiah last night. One of the Chiefs fans leaned down into the tunnel after the game. He had a really, really nice game. It said, I guess the fan said, "You stink." And he said, "F you, bitch." And they got it on video. He looked up. He got very, very creased by this fan and said, "F you, bitch." He had 9 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. But he was pretty hot after the loss.
He was 1/2 of an inch away from tying or winning the game. They were going to go for 2.
Oh, yeah.
At the end. Can I bonus Lamar Jackson on this? Because he still said after the game he didn't think officials should have overturned it. And I don't know why. We all saw the replay. Yes, it was very close. Yes, you don't know. I mean, is the toe all the way down or is the foot on the line? We have to live, though, if you're going to play the game and you're going to have out-of-bounds lines and anything touching the line is out, his toe was clearly on top of that line.
Yeah.
Does it suck for the Ravens?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yes.
You were an inch away, an inch.
But you can't make any other call if you're the official. You can't imagine, well, maybe the toe's not really there. It's an optical illusion. No, that's just how you have to call it. When you see it come down on the line on replay, it's out of bounds. And, yeah, the game's over, and it's really a tough way to lose at the end. But you lost, Lamar. His toe is on the line. There's really no ambiguity about it. And you can't really complain that the officials made a mistake in overturning that call. It's not ambiguous. It's on the line.
Well, I mean, that game comes down to the last play. They marched down. Amazing plays to get to there.
Paulie's happy. He has Xavier Worthy on his fantasy team.
Oh, do you?
Where did you...
Oh, he's on my bench.
He was on your bench, but you got him on the team. I went quickly to the waiver wire going, ooh, rookie, got to steal this guy. No, Paulie already had him.
I'm still in a position to dominate this weekend.
Okay.
Projected.
I'm beating Sammy Levitt right now, as it were, but not by a lot.
I didn't have any players, so I'm losing to Jake Garagnani from Channel 8, but I'm still projected to win.
Okay, I am too. But as we know, projections often
true.
Don't mean anything.
That is true.
Much like run differential.
All right, finally, a little do-do this on a Friday.
DD mega do-do.
I just think this story has a lot of good elements that I enjoy. Men's tennis in the United States has not been great since what? The Pete Sampras days? When was the last time?
Agassi, Sampras.
Yeah, I mean, way back in the day. The last U.S. man to make a Grand Slam final. Andy Roddick in 2009. 15 years.
Any Grand Slam, not just the U.S. Open.
Not just the U.S. Open. Any of the 4 Grand Slam finals. Obviously, it's been
how long?
Unrelenting 15 years.
Good God.
No, obviously, it's been Federer, it's been Djokovic,
Nadal.
it's been Nadal. They've pretty much locked everybody else out. But that streak will end today because the semifinal at the U.S. Open is 2 U.S. men.
Nice.
And they happen to be best friends as well. And one of them happens to be from Torrey Pines High School. Taylor Fritz, the 12th seed, taking on Francis Tiafoe, the 20th seed, with the winner becoming the first U.S. man to advance to a Grand Slam final since Andy Roddick in 2009.
Congratulations. That is a huge dude.
That is a big, big deal.
And you're pulling, I'm assuming, for Taylor Fritz.
I am pulling for Taylor Fritz as the fellow Torrey Pines Falcon. I like Tiafoe a lot, though. They both seem to be like really good guys.
And they're buddies.
And they're good buddies, and they get to play each other at Arthur Ashe Stadium in front of all those tennis fans for a spot in their country's national championship.
What time is that airing, Benjamin?
That is...
Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know off the top of my head, but my guess would be around 5 o'clock tonight.
Probably be bowling.
Let's see.
I'd like to... If it was on in the afternoon, I would watch that. I like that.
The first pitch, as it were...
They call it a first pitch?
No, they don't. Is...
The first serve?
How do I... Oh, that's women's. That's why. I got to switch to men's.
Yeah, switch on.
4 o'clock.
We'll wait.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. All right. ESPN. 4 o'clock.
Let's go Taylor Fritz.
And that's Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
The other semifinal, Yannick Sinner, who is the number 1 seed, the guy who got popped for steroids, but they said, don't worry about it. It's
Great
fine.
name.
He is
Sinner.
He's not a saint, that's
Yannick
for sure.
Sinner.
Woo! Going against Draper in the final. Yeah, Jack Draper, who is British, actually. So, but we'll see how that's earlier today at noon.
Cheers, bro. All
right, we'll come back. Let's go back. If you want to take some calls on the game
I thought
yesterday,
today
I thought this might be a day
I want to
for
hear.
it.
I want to hear if you're dooming hard this morning. It's fine, man. That's what we're here for. Call in.
If you want to talk about the bullpen and Robert Suarez before we talk to Mike Shildt later, this is the chance.
Fire
Call
away.
us 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Back with more Ben and Woods Padres talk next on 97.3 The Fan. All right, Paulie, can you call up the Fangraphs website and see what the Padres playoff odds are today? They climbed up close to 97%, I think, at their maximum. And they were probably
16% right now today after last night's game. 16%.
They were probably one pitch away from
Facing
getting
relegation.
Yeah.
I was really thinking because of the loss by the Diamondbacks and the Braves, they were probably one pitch away from climbing over the magic 97.3 mark that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, we want them to hit 97.3.
But I don't think they did because of what happened in the ninth inning yesterday.
Yeah, the Padres dropped all the way down to 95.2%.
95.2, okay. Yeah, man, you saw
we're getting into the jazz station territory, really low on the dial now.
88.1
public radio.
Yeah, you don't want to get down there, bro.
KCR, college radio at San Diego State.
Very low on the dial.
Did you see the Orioles got swept by the Reds? The Rockies last night beat the Braves. I mean, Austin
Gomber apparently is not only good against the Padres, he shut down the Braves.
The Braves. I mean, yeah, it was one of those nights. But again, you're a human being. You look at
Diamondbacks let Patrick Bailey beat them with all 3 runs batted in. It does happen. Even to the good team.
It's just where I was sitting at the game. It's a direct line to that scoreboard. The direct. And so I just stared at it all night. And I was like, yes.
Literally, scoreboard
watching.
Not figuratively, literally, you were scoreboard
watching. I couldn't look away
watching.
because it was right there. So anytime I watched the play on the field, I'm like, 3-2, Diamondbacks lose. So it's just sticking in my craw a little bit. You didn't take the jump on an extra game. But again, you didn't really lose anything either. So I don't like
Lost half a game. The Mets are now 3 back.
3, yeah.
And they have a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Braves are also 3 back. They don't have the tiebreaker on the Padres. It's certainly not over.
It ain't over, man. These games are important.
95% feels good.
It does.
That's 19 out of 20 times. If they played the season out, Fangraphs would expect the Padres to make the playoffs 19 out of 20 times. Not 20 out of 20. 19's pretty good. All right, we got some callers on the line. We're going to talk Padres baseball, take some of your thoughts on Robert Suarez and yesterday's game right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. We're not getting much relief on our roads this morning, guys. We've got this crash on northbound 805 before 43rd. A couple vehicles involved. Looks like that is moving over the right shoulder. Then up ahead, we still have this crash blocking the fast lane just before the 8. Northbound side of the 5 Mile Cars Way. Accident involving a car and a motorcycle. That has still got the fast lane blocked. Also traveling on the coastline, northbound 5 past Palomar Airport Road. There is a collision involving a motorcycle. Got the right lane blocked. And on southbound 5 coastline, just past Birmingham, collision involving a couple cars. Not showing if any lanes are blocked. We still have this crash on westbound 56 before Carmel Creek. It's over the right shoulder. Now south 15 jumping into the act right before Felicita. Another accident involving a motorcycle. What is going on? This one's over to the right shoulder. In peak wildfire season, as a last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Sounds like Kelly's in the torture chamber this morning. Padres fans in the torture chamber. It's supposed to be Friday. It's supposed to be fun. A good day.
Yeah. We're all right. It's going to be all right.
All right, let's go out to the phone.
Still won the series.
833-288-0973. Christopher is in Escondido. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, buddy.
How are you doing today?
Doing good, man.
First off, Benny wanted to say prayers to your family for what you're going through today. And for those of us that listen every day, whether you guys want or not, you're part of our family and fabric. So when you guys are happy, we're happy for you. And when you struggle, we all struggle with you. So
Chris, that's very nice. I appreciate it. And if you missed it, it's our pet Reggie, our dog. This is his last day. Taking him across the Rainbow Bridge later. I like that, Paulie. I didn't know that expression until Paulie shared it.
You really like that expression.
Earlier. Yeah, it's a good one now.
The Rainbow Bridge.
It's a good euphemism where you don't have to say, we're putting him down.
Right.
That doesn't sound good. Or
murdering.
Go ahead, Chris. That's not what I meant. Go ahead. Yeah.
That's okay. I mentioned it in the chat earlier. You guys talked about on your roundtable yesterday. Baseball just has a funny way of humbling you when you think everything's going perfectly. And I think last night was the perfect example of that. I do think, and of course, with my infinite wisdom of baseball coaching and the professional level, not, it does look, last night was, to me, I wasn't really surprised because it seemed like the last few outings, Bobby Bullets has kind of struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, Mike's going to be the one that makes the final decision, but it just looks like maybe, I know he's over his innings limit, or not limit, but his career high, maybe a few days off for him, like kind of reset for down the stretch here might be. And I'm also curious when Mike comes on, if you guys got, I'm just the way he works the bullpen. Does he have those guys on a pitch count when they come in, the relievers, or is it just, does he just go by feel, or it just seems like they come in? Of course, most of them are kind of 1, 2, 3 and out for the most part. But I'm just curious, as much as he uses some of those relievers, if he actually has them on a pitch count when they come in, so that they're ready for 2 or 3 days in a row, or how that works in his mind.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's probably feel, and he talks all the time. Thanks so much for the call and the kind words. They talk all the time about communication, and I'll say this: for all we heard about Bob Melvin was that he was a master communicator, right? From everybody we talked to, we did our due diligence on Bob when he got hired. Every person, man, woman, child, said Bob Melvin is the greatest communicator in baseball. We didn't really see it, right? He was fine to us when we communicated to him. I do get the sense that there's a lot of touching going on. And I mean touching every day. Mike Shildt touching his players and saying, "You good? How are you? I need to know." You know what I mean? I get the sense that they do that a lot.
Show us on the diagram where he touched.
No, that's not what I mean. Why are you always so perverted? I'm trying to be serious here. I think there's a lot of touching going on about, where are you really? And again, your eyes are going to tell you. And Robert Suarez, yeah, man, he scuffled. He scuffled a little bit lately.
Christopher made a couple of points. He said, could a spell off help Robert Suarez?
Maybe.
I don't know if that is true or not. Again,
it seems
the velocity
logical.
is fine, but any player might benefit from some time off.
Sure.
We talked in the roundtable yesterday about whether there's a spot for Sean Reynolds back on this team, at least for the playoffs, maybe in place of Martin Pérez. And obviously, Pérez was great yesterday, but do you need another starter, a fifth starter in the postseason? Reynolds has been really good, throwing really hard. Now, I'm not saying Sean Reynolds should be your closer right away. This is not the time to take an untested commodity and put him in really high leverage spots, but you do have plenty of arms right now.
You've got Tanner Scott, who has closed games before.
Jason Adams
has closed games. So
Estrada has a couple of saves this year.
Yeah, and again, good problem to have. I don't know about the psychology when things are going as well as they have for the San Diego Padres. Ben, would it concern you at all because so much of a baseball player, especially a pitcher and really a closer, it's confidence. It's confidence. You can go out there with not your best stuff, and if you're confident, you feel like you can get 3 outs, whether it's 3 weak ground balls or a strikeout and a pop out, and whatever. You feel like I'm the man. I can get this done. To be demoted to a different role in early September, is that the smartest thing to do? It's a results-based business. If the results aren't there, you have to do it. We asked Brett Boone about what his brother's going through in New York with Clay Holmes, who has blown not 4 saves, 11 saves.
And they are making a somewhat of a change.
Yeah, well, I think he said, we're going to get creative in the 9th, right? So Clay Holmes.
Is that what you want, though,
that's
right
the
now?
Thing. That's really what I'm trying to ask you.
That's acts of desperation, not decisive action.
Is that what we want here as Padre fans? Do we want Mike Shildt to get more creative in the 9th inning? It's hard, man. 31 saves. I know the numbers are down lately. Do you trust?
I personally don't. I stick with what's been working.
I'm kind of with you. But again, if the matchup that's coming up in the 8th and 9th, you can look in the 7th inning and go, all right, this guy's better suited here. Is that an ego? Is it a confidence problem?
You have 2 closers. One is left-handed. One is
right-handed. Yeah.
Now, it was a lefty that beat Suarez last night. Now, I don't know that you're planning around their number 9 hitter.
Correct.
Who's batting, coming up 6th in the inning.
Right.
Well, we should have Tanner Scott out
He's
there
gotta
because
be
that
ready.
Parker Meadows might come up with the bases loaded in the 9th inning. We want him to dodge Robert Suarez. It's kind of hard to plan sometimes. But, hey, if there's an obvious situation, it's the 8th inning and there's 3 righties coming up, and then in the 9th, if he gets them out, there'll be 3 lefties. You might want to switch it around in a situation like that. Most lineups are fairly balanced between righties and lefties, though.
Do you guys out there that are so mad, and again, I was mad. I hated it. I hated that for sure last night. Do you guys want to hear the term closer by committee right now? No. I really don't. And it doesn't mean you're going to throw him out there and let him blow 6 saves in a row. But closer by committee feels like the kiss of death for me a lot. And listen, that very well may be the case when the clock strikes October and you're in the playoffs. It may be closer by committee. All hands on deck. But as we get through the rest of the regular season with a 3-game cushion, which isn't a ton, kind of okay with what's going on.
I do think that baseball is always a game of adjustments, and hitters have adjusted to Robert Suarez in that they're attacking him a little bit earlier, just trying to get bat on ball a lot of times and, use that velocity against him. Does Robert Suarez need to make an adjustment at least in terms of his pitch mix and how he's attacking hitters? Maybe, because you always have to make adjustments.
Yeah, for sure. They adjust on you.
Yeah, so you have to adjust back. And that's how the pendulum swings in baseball. Now it's Suarez's turn to adjust. Let's continue with the phones. Let's go to Brandon. You are next up here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good, bud.
Hey, watching that game last night, I said to myself, you're going to run Suarez out there again? That Pérez did such a fantastic job. Most of these starters go about 5 innings, maybe 6. What's the matter with having Pérez come out in the 6th inning and finish the game?
He came out in the 7th inning.
He was out in the 7th.
He came all the way into the 7th.
He got the tying run up. Tying run up to the plate. I had no problem with the pull of Martin Pérez. Now, you say you're watching the game last night. Now, again, he had thrown 19 pitches on Wednesday. They had an off day on Tuesday, and he had thrown 8 pitches on Monday. So 8 off 19. 27 pitches in 3 days.
And he closed out Sundays.
And he closed out Sunday.
So it's 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, for sure. With a day off in between, certainly. Again, 3-run lead. It's your closer. I really don't have a problem with it if he says, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. What were the other alternatives at that point? Was it Estrada, perhaps, who had also thrown 17 pitches the night before? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Hoeing is rested, but he's not closer necessarily type material. I think ultimately, if Robert Suarez just gives up a single and a home run, you win that game.
Yeah.
What wasn't
the walks?
What wasn't okay? What isn't Mike Shildt ball? And I'm sure Mike Shildt was the most upset about is walking 2 batters.
Oh yeah, that kills you, man.
That's what killed him.
Walks kill.
Big league batters are going to make contact. They're going to barrel it up. When you throw it 102, sometimes it'll go over the fence. There's nothing Robert Suarez will ever be able to do about that. He will give up some home runs when they actually do make contact. It'll be rare. What he can control, though, is not walking guys. And that was on Suarez, and I guarantee you Shildt was not happy about that. Won't say that. He did in his post-game comments. The command got a little shaky, and even acknowledged that. It's like one of the biggest criticisms I've ever heard of one of his own players.
Yeah.
Command got a little off.
A little shaky.
In the 9th inning for Robert Suarez. He does not like walks. That is giving the other team things. He does not believe in giving the other team anything. He believes in taking and not giving. He's not good at Christmas. He only likes to take and not give at all. That's his philosophy as manager, and the Padres gave in the 9th inning. And they gave, and they lost. They don't like to do that very often. Let's get one more in here. We've got David. David, welcome to 97.3 The Fan.
Hello?
Hey, are you David?
Yeah, no, my name's Vance.
Vance, that's what I thought.
That's close.
That's what
Close.
I misspelled it. That's fine.
All right, so, this is just recently, but I feel like Suarez is just really iffy, and obviously his command isn't there. But, why don't we go to a Sean Reynolds or Alec Jacob? You guys remember that guy? I know his stuff his velocity isn't as high, but Why aren't we going to other options?
He's not a closer. Alec Jacobs not a closer. Now, Sean Reynolds also is not yet a closer. He very well may be the closer of the future for the San Diego Padres. He's also not on the team currently, so that would have been not possible to bring him in last night. Sean Reynolds is down.
I think the biggest criticism of Mike Shildt would have been over panicking by not using his guys. If he loses that game with, Alec Jacob or Brian Hoeing or Estrada, then we're probably legitimately upset today.
Yeah.
Like, was Robert Suarez not available?
No,
he said he could go.
He said he could go.
Was it a save situation? Yeah.
But we just want to give him a little blow.
Yeah, we just decided not to use him tonight.
I mean,
you can have a crystal ball. It's easy. It's easy after the fact.
And I'm not trying to crap on this guy's point, but Alec Jacob he's not a closer type.
No, he's deception and breaking balls.
I mean, and listen, Trevor Hoffman did it with deception for many, many, many years. But Trevor Hoffman, guess what?
He had a pretty good fastball too.
He did, but he also blew a lot of saves. They all do, every single one of them. So again, I'm not super panicked right now.
It's not the closer entrance either. I know people say cancel the closer entrance. No,
it was. Hey, I'll say this: I saw it live for the first time, it was badass. It was badass. Now you look like an idiot, or you feel like an idiot for being so excited about it when you lose that game. But
Trevor Blue saves after Hell's Bells. It happens.
It happens. I'm bummed for him. Certainly, and maybe a rest is worthy. Certainly.
So this is pretty incredible. We didn't think we'd have Jake Mintz from Cesspoo's Family Barbecue because it's his birthday and he's getting married tomorrow, but he wanted to come on anyway, which I think is really cool. He loves baseball that much. Our next guest on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Friday. Tranquilo, remember, it's Friday. Let's get our heads right and finish strong last half of the show here. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well.
Guess what? I am so impressed by our next guest's dedication because not only we knew it was his wedding tomorrow, so I figured Jake's definitely out.
I already
this
wrote
week.
him off. I was like, well,
no chance,
100%.
Yeah, and then I find out from Paulie it was his birthday yesterday.
Yeah, I believe so.
So it's his birthday weekend, his wedding weekend, and yet he still is joining us right now from Cespedes Family Barbecue and Yahoo Sports, purveyor of the saxophone on our YouTube stream. Jake Mintz is with us. Jake, good morning. Happy birthday. Congratulations on the nuptials. It's great to see you. Now, give me some Jerry Rafferty Baker Street.
Please give us some Baker Street.
So the problem with playing the saxophone is that I ain't very good at it.
That's fine. Let's hear it anyway.
Couldn't tell that from the YouTube
I love this.
video.
This is gold.
Not bad.
I'm
Not bad at
learning
all.
it.
Dude,
I'm
that's
learning it. I'm learning
badass.
it.
How hard is it to learn?
Hard.
I bet, dude.
Hard.
I bet it's really, really hard.
Difficult and noisy. You know?
And
noisy,
when done poorly, sounds
horrendous.
Absolutely. You can pick around on a
Very
guitar.
shrieky, shrill sound.
You
bad
can
sounds.
pick around on a guitar a little bit, and it's not going to drive
Yeah.
people crazy. A piano a little bit, fine. Anything with a horn or drums is a little bit grating.
Yeah. So I don't think my fiance listens to this show.
Why not?
So I'm going to give a little secret here.
All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
I am learning the saxophone because I am surprising her at the wedding.
Oh.
She does not know that I am learning the saxophone.
Oh, God, so you have to do it in private as well.
And so whenever she's not home, she goes out to work.
What
I'm
song are
teaching
you
myself how to
choosing?
play the saxophone. Our favorite song is Sweet Virginia by the Rolling Stones.
Oh, that's a great tune, man.
I've been practicing in private. So if she's listening, that was a joke. My beautiful beloved.
I was just kidding.
Does she know you even have a saxophone?
Yeah, does she know you have a sax?
No, I hide it.
How do you hide a saxophone? What are you hiding in the
Inside
closet?
other
Nothing.
luggage.
There's nothing in here. Do not come in here, though. Please, I'm begging you.
This sounds like a skill issue for you guys.
Dude, well, congratulations. It's your last official day of freedom. You're sitting outside. You look to be enjoying yourself. That all ends. That all ends.
You'll never be outside again.
Yeah, you look happy and calm. That all ends. It's over, buddy.
No, I don't like this energy. I did stay up last night, by the way, and watched the whole Padres game.
I was there. I stayed the whole time. It was hell. It was hell.
Oh, my God. Okay, so here, let me ask you a question. When you have one of the best 5 closers in baseball, like Robert Suarez is phenomenal. He's dynamite. He's been locked down all season long. When that guy blows a save, it's almost harder to be mad about it because it's like, well, he's due for a couple of these, and it just happened to be in this really brutal fashion to a hitter who really shouldn't be doing that.
Correct.
And you just chalk it up to bad luck. Whereas like Yankees fans right now want to put Clay Holmes in the sewer system and never see him again.
Into the Hudson River. That's exactly right. It was jarring, man, to see. It was. And you know, the portion of the fan base, Jake, that has like, well, he's due. Like, I'm seeing it. He gave up a hit and he walked a guy in this last. I could see it coming, and the numbers have not been good the last month. It was kind of leading to this. You kind of knew it was going to happen when he walked a couple guys. You thought they're going to get a couple off of him here. It's not obviously going to be clean. But yeah, man, we've done it to so many teams this year. So many closers. We have ruined their lives. We were due for one. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm flushing it and got to figure out a way to go beat Logan Webb tonight.
It is the least Panic Station's closer blowing it I can remember, because he is Robert Suarez. He's very good. I understand he's been a little shakier, but he's still really good. And you have 2 other guys in the pen who you could just make the closer if you really needed to. Now, I understand that there's a cascading effect to that. I get it. But like, the Padres bullpen is not something that worries me. You know, here 2 days before I get married, I'm not stressed about the Padres bullpen.
probably
Nor should you
wise
be.
of you to do that.
Very.
Jake Mintz is with us. Our segment with Cespedes Family Barbecue guys each week is brought to you by our friends at Grand Ole Barbecue. By the way, that would be a good wedding food.
Oh, it'd be a great
Grand Ole
wedding
Barbecue.
food.
What are you guys serving at the wedding?
Well, my fiance is a vegetarian, so
Not
we
barbecue.
are not serving meat, but I would.
Brisket, pulled pork, that would be up your alley for sure.
Hold on.
Get
real quick
into my belly.
Real quick.
When I'm out there for the World Series, I will make a trip out to Grand Ole Barbecue.
Oh, I like that. I like where your head's at. All right, let me ask you this. So your wife's a vegetarian.
Yeah. Pescatarian.
Oh, okay. So will you be serving you will be serving fish and veggies?
Salmon, eggplant parm, and ravioli.
Now you didn't invite me.
Italian, I like
You
that.
didn't invite me to your wedding, but I would have said no because of the salmon. It's the number one thing that I loathe more than anything in the world. I would have had to bring like a bag of Ritz bits with me to your wedding. I would have been eating Ritz bits in the seat, man.
I didn't want salmon! I said it 4 times!
That's me live from your wedding.
Well, you have options.
Wedding
you
is
have
for
options.
What flavor of cake then? That's vegetarian.
No cake.
No cake.
What are you guys doing? Pie or something? What is it?
No, cake is a dumb shtick. To me,
It is.
and my beautiful fiance, we want our wedding to be focused primarily on the dancing. Okay, we have made every possible decision to allow for the maximization of dance floor activity, and the cake breaks that up in a way that we are not interested in, and so therefore we nixed it.
But there has to be some sort of dessert, right?
Yeah, there's past desserts. We're not
okay. You're not
You're not monsters.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good.
Cupcakes
Good.
or just grab one and go.
S'mores bar.
Yeah,
How about that?
cookies.
Now, one of my rules for the wedding, I'm curious for your thoughts on this, is no baseball references, because I want to be seen as more than what I do for work.
Yeah.
So, like, I hate going to a wedding and being like, wow, he really hit a home run with her. Like, that just makes me want to give myself a swirly. And so I've made it very clear to everyone who's speaking that is not allowed.
Jake, it's your best man, Woodsy. We've been through so much together. Make sure you don't blow the save tonight, if you know what I'm talking about, or do.
Get out.
Oh my God, that's a good. Yeah, I like that. That's good. You don't want that shtick at your wedding. Talking to our pal Jake Mintz from Cespedes Family Barbecue. He's walking the plank. I mean, getting married tomorrow to his lovely bride, and we're very happy for you. Certainly, as we look right now at a little bit of a missed opportunity last night with Arizona losing, and of course, Atlanta's lost to the Rockies. That's brutal. You're seeing you saw your Orioles get swept by the Reds. Like, that's fairly excruciating, I would imagine. No, you don't care.
No, you're mixing up the teams that wear orange, big guy. The Reds swept the
Reds.
Astros.
Oh, the Astros.
Orioles,
I'm sorry, not the Orioles.
They dropped the Orioles, though, did drop a game to the Chicago White Sox.
Yes.
Which feels like losing 35 games in a row.
So we have them coming up soon, and I am sick.
Most nervous series of all
That's right.
season is 3 against the White Sox coming up.
Oh, dude.
It's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose because it's like, if you win, it's like, well, you're supposed to win.
You better win by 6.
And if you, if you lose, the sky is falling.
I try to think about it. All the other teams are really unhappy that we get to play the White Sox still. They've already had them. They've already done their damage. Now it's the Padres' turn to get to do some damage against the White Sox.
The White Sox are going to win that series. I'm telling you.
So much.
I'm telling you. To be clear,
Padres they've already lost the season series to the Rockies. They can't also lose the season series to the White Sox.
Is it in Chicago or
no? It's here. It's here. Last three home games of the year.
Last 3 home games.
It's the last 3 of the year.
Oh,
last 3 home of the year,
games.
and then they got 1 road trip.
Oh, you guys are cooked. San Diego is winning the opener, and it's going to be like, oh, this is good. And then Jonathan Cannon, who's a guy on the White Sox, is going to shove it on game 2, and then game 3, you're just going to bungle it. Oh, and Tatis is going to make an error. It's going to be like perfect karma comeuppance.
I hope it rains meat at your wedding tomorrow. Just meat loaves, like all kinds of things falling from the sky.
You can't find
drumsticks.
You can't find your reed at the last second for the saxophone.
Yeah. You
My
lose your
mouth
music.
will be open as the meat falls into it. I have found little areas in the wedding schedule where I can make sure I get my protein in. Don't worry.
It's our friend Jake Mintz from Cespedes Family Barbecue. He's getting married tomorrow, but still wants to talk baseball with us here. Now, it's not the NL West race or the NL wildcard race is fantastic, but I mean, I'm still looking at the American League side and the big series this week. Obviously, the Royals and the Guardians. The Guardians have finally kind of put their foot down a little bit in what's going on over in the American League.
Well, the Royals had just a catastrophic weekend last weekend. I mean, they went to Houston and they got mopped 4 games. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate the effort. Vinny Pasquantino breaks his thumb. He's out until like the middle of October. And at the very last second, this was some delightful procrastination roster construction. They add Tommy Pham, Robbie Grossman, and Yuli Gurriel within the span of like 25 minutes so that all 3 of those guys are postseason eligible. Tommy Pham, I think, homered last night, his first homer as a Royal, and they're just going to try and scrap it together. The AL Central is a total mess. None of these 3 teams inspire any confidence. I think the Twins are the best of these 3 teams, but they've just been stuck in neutral for so much of the season. Pablo Lopez, their ace, has looked amazing, and I just think they offer more upside. Cleveland's, some of their sluggers have been better as of late, but their starting rotation. Here you go. Name a Cleveland starter.
Tanner Bybee.
Bybee. Tanner Bybee.
Yeah, the projected playoff rotation is Tanner Bybee, Matt Boyd, Alex Cobb, and Gavin Williams. And they are probably going to have a bye. That team's going to have a bye.
Yeah, 20 games above 500.
It's crazy because remember in the first half of the season, in the National League, we were thinking 81 and 81 might sneak into the playoffs.
True.
And the American League teams were running away. Now, we're wondering if 90 is enough, whereas the American League, every playoff contender, and there's 6 teams that are very likely to get in, all have a 500 record or worse over the last 10, whereas in the National League, all but the Diamondbacks have a winning record over their last 10. The National League is hot. The American League has kind of cooled down here in September.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out over there because, I mean, the 2 best teams in the American League are in the same division, Orioles and the Yankees, and neither of them have I think they've both played 500 ball over the last 2 months, right? No one is good, and therefore everyone is good. I think the Oakland A's have the second best record.
They do.
Break.
Incredible, man.
Like, up is down, down is up, in is out. I'm getting married. Like, I don't really know what to tell you, folks. But it is certainly going to be messy. The number one thing for non-Padres related, and I'm sure Padres fans know about this, is just that the Mets have caught the Braves.
It's unreal, man.
For that last spot.
7 straight, 8-2 in their last 10. That's insane. And one of those teams, of those 4 teams, Padres, Diamondbacks, Braves, Mets, as well as they've all played in the second half, one of those teams is not making it, and that is you just pray that it's not you.
Do you want the 6 seed or the 5 seed? Or the 4 seed.
Well, we want to be at home.
We want to be at home,
seed.
so the 4. But I'll take whatever I can get at this point. I just
After
want to make
that,
sure
though,
we're in.
4 first, then 6,
Agreed.
then 5.
Yep. Right.
I think it's
because
my
you'd
order.
much rather play Milwaukee than Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
100%.
If I have to play Arizona, I want it right here in San Diego
Right here in San
for 3
Diego.
games.
Yep.
And then if you're 6, you get Milwaukee, and then you get the 2nd seed, which, I mean, it's either going to be the Phillies or the Dodgers at this point, likely. Pick your poison.
Yep.
Padres have done better against the Dodgers. But then do you want to face them in the shorter series or the longer series? Because the goal is not just to get to the NLDS and then go home. It's to win the World Series if you're the Padres this year. So you kind of are planning for the whole month.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
Yeah, we figured it out. We got it all
Took us
dialed
55 years of franchise history, but now we've decided the goal is finally to win the World Series.
Well, I'm sure it won't. None of this conversation will come back to bite us in the ass at all. I'm sure it's going to be, everything's going to be just fine, Jake.
You guys are going to have a great run in the MLB NIT.
Oh, no, that's the last thing I want, buddy. Well, congratulations on the wedding tomorrow. Don't be nervous. It's not like you're marrying somebody you've never met before. Just remember, you guys know each other. You love each other. Have a great time.
Dude, I don't get nervous.
Do you not?
I get excited.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I'll wake up tomorrow in a pool of vomit, but I'm feeling awesome, dude. I feel great.
Play us out with a little bumper music here.
Yeah, play us out a little. It's really good. That's really, really good.
Oh,
You're gonna
see, that's
kill.
where it goes wrong.
She's gonna be so
Keep it easy.
amazed.
See you, Jake.
Jake Mintz, Cespedes Family Barbecue, brought to you each week by our friends at Grand Old Barbecue. I just want to get married again so we can have Grand Old Barbecue cater the wedding.
Yeah, it'd be worth it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Gas Station D Pill says, I don't get nervous is quintessential DB talk. I don't agree. I don't get nervous. I do get excited.
It's
I don't
okay.
really get nervous.
Yeah, it's.
I get anxious.
It doesn't mean you're cocky to not be nervous.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Nervous, I really don't. I get anxious. Is that nervous?
Yeah, that's exactly what nervous is.
Is it? But I'm like, it's excited, like anxiety. Does that make sense? I get excited too.
All right.
I would like you to get married again so we can do a bachelor party. And on this one,
not just going to be a couple days of golf.
Where did you go? Prim or something?
I went to Vegas.
Oh, you went to Vegas. Yeah, golf. You golfed.
You know what I know you're excited about? Ben's college football lineup for Saturday.
Yeah, I always love this.
I know you do, and I've got it set up for you next. When we come back, the best games to watch on your college football Saturday when we return after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, NFL season underway last night. The Kansas City Chiefs did not lose the opener like they did last year to the Detroit Lions. They held on to beat the Baltimore Ravens 27-20, but they needed an instant replay review. Toe on the line with zeros on the clock. Isaiah Likely was out of bounds.
I was waiting for it. Where's he going to go? I know he's going to make a likely.
Actually, he was definitely out of bounds.
Likely out of bounds.
Very, very clear, despite what Lamar Jackson said. No, you shouldn't have overturned that. No, you really should have. It hurts,
he just wore
but
white
you should have.
cleats. He might have gotten
away with it. Maybe.
Also, NFL action tonight from Brazil. Game 2 of the season. The Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers.
What were you saying earlier? We were talking about that game
right,
before the show this morning.
So there's a couple
Ian
of
Rappaport and Adam Schefter. I don't know if they're there or not. I think Peacock's got it, so I don't know. But NFL reporters that are there at the game, their coverage is going to be very odd.
Yes, so there's a couple of odd things about the game tonight. The Brazilian government shut down Twitter in the country. I think it was just last week. Okay. There was some dispute with Elon, legal thing, and they said, fine, you're not going to play games. We're just going to say no more Twitter, no more X in Brazil. So if you are in Brazil covering the game, you can't tweet. And that's like a problem for a lot of NFL reporters who get
not like
most
you
of
get
their
a
information
ticket or
out.
something. You literally
it's
cannot
shut down.
access.
No, you can't access Twitter from Brazil.
What about a VP with a VPN?
That's interesting. Well, they've come up with kind of a workaround. According to some reports, what many of the reporters are doing is they are, with their spouse or significant other is staying at home. They will be logged into the reporter's Twitter account, and then they'll just get texts with the tweets they're supposed to post.
So Mrs. Rappaport sitting at home going, are you effing kidding me?
Schefter.
You're joking. I got 3 kids. I got to get ready. What do you? So-and-so is out with a hamstring pull. Are you
Live tweeting
joking?
the entire game. Set aside 3 hours, honey.
What a throw from Jalen Hurts. Are you? Hannah would murder me if I was like, hey, you got to do this. I mean, I'm Ian Rappaport. You have to do this.
So the other weird thing about this game is they're playing it in Sao Paulo, and obviously a soccer stadium that is one of their big-time teams, Corinthians. Corinthians, their big rival, I don't know the name of the team, but their big rival is known for wearing green. So they hate green. They have forbidden the color green anywhere in their stadium. And that carries over
playing tonight again?
to the game today. So the Philadelphia Eagles, who usually wear all green, are going to be wearing black and white because they're not allowed to be wearing green, or at least that darker shade of green that kind of matches Corinthians' rival.
Okay,
so,
and their opponent tonight is the
Green
Packers.
Bay Packers. However, the Packers green is kind of like the
Bay.
Brazilian flag green. It's that lighter green.
Yeah.
I guess the Packers are okay. They can wear their normal white and yellow with a little green accents because it's the right color of green. But the Eagles have the wrong color of green, so there won't be a shred of Eagles green anywhere on the sideline or the field for this game because they don't want to be hated in Sao Paulo for wearing the wrong color.
This is like Major League Baseball just shoving the A's into Sacramento and then Vegas like la 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 la. We don't have a stadium. This is horrible, terrible. There's a $9,000 fine in Brazil for using X. So again, Mrs. Rappaport is sitting at home, manning her phone now, going, blah, blah, blah. Like, here's what I would tell Hannah. All right, yeah, you can have access to my Twitter account. You can go at it. But you have to answer every single DM that's asking me to, buy them a new belt. If I happen to be at Nordstrom, if I know of the best gas station in the area they're staying in, you got to answer all the things that I get on a daily basis. But she wouldn't do that. She's not going to sit and tweet a live football game.
I'm looking at some of Ian Rappaport's latest.
Yeah, these are all from his wife.
The 3-year, $72.3 million extension includes $55.3 million guaranteed.
Just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
7-time Pro Bowler Jalen Ramsey regains the title of NFL's highest paid cornerback.
Oh God, dude!
Breaking NFL news, I guess. By the way.
Well, now, I'm not going to be able to watch it tonight. I'm going to be bowling. Damn it! But I would like to see what a.
Do you have Peacock? Even if you could watch it.
I do. I think I do have
You have
Peacock.
Peacock?
I have them all. Every one of them.
All right, then tomorrow, of course, college football Saturday. I always like to public service and give you the top lineup if you really wanted to.
I love this.
Sit on the couch all day.
We need music, Paulie, some sort of music.
Here are the best viewing options for you on a college football Saturday. You wake up early, and no ABC games this week. Last week I was all about ABC, but the best game of the day is probably the 9 a.m. game on Fox. Number 3 Texas at number 10 Michigan.
Oh, man.
To start your day at 9 a.m. After that, it's not quite as good as it was last week. At 12:30, I'll go with an in-state rivalry. Iowa State at number 21. Iowa, probably not going to be that high scoring. You know, Iowa, they're not big-time scorers, but that's probably your best game in the middle of the day on CBS. Then at 4:30, I tend to go look for the ranked teams and those matchups, but these are 2 unranked teams on NBC at 4:30. Colorado at Nebraska. Kind of a pivotal game for Deion on the road. Nebraska is certainly a beatable team.
Yeah.
But they're also a team they could lose to. And this, I think, will kind of define a little bit of the season. His second season and maybe the rest of his tenure as Colorado head coach, honestly. This is one I think they want to have, really kind of need to get.
Where's the game again?
In Nebraska.
In Nebraska.
Lincoln.
Oh, God, it's going to be packed.
So that's the 4:30 game on NBC. And then if you really want to stay up all night, you got Peacock at 7 o'clock. Boise State, Oregon. Big Northwest matchup. Boise State has a really good running back. Ashton Genty ran for like over 250 yards in the first game. Oregon looked shaky against Idaho, I think it was. Bernie's Idaho Vandals. Last week, like only won by 10. They were favored by 45 or something. So there's some thought that number 7 Oregon could be a little vulnerable against Boise State in this game. But it is at Oregon. Should give them the advantage, but we'll see what happens. That's the 7 o'clock game in Peacock. And then if you're an Aztecs fan, they're playing on CBS Sports Network at 7:30 against Oregon State. Bad news, though. Aztecs lost their starting left tackle for the season, Joe Bourgeon. Tore his ACL in that first game against Commerce. So they're already – it's not the position you usually want to lose early in the season. Left tackle is
pretty important.
Kind of one of the key positions on the field in any level of football. So that bad news for Sean Lewis. It's I think Oregon State, last time I checked, was favored by about a field goal, 3 to 4 points, somewhere in there. So they're expecting somewhat of a close game.
I think it's 6
It's up to
now.
6 now?
I think it's 6.
All right. So
yeah, Oregon State by 6.
Money coming in on the Beavers against the Aztecs.
Well, I mean, if you watch the second half, you're pretty encouraged by what you saw from the Aztecs. But again, their defense is really what got them going with the turnover and I mean, listen.
Nice beaver.
Thanks. I just got it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
Paulie's going to do the Reindl Report before Mike Shildt joins us at 9 o'clock. Paulie, anything
Nice
you'd like
beaver.
Anything else you'd like to add to the conversation?
I want to get Woods' thought. We're going to be. I got a couple of music stories actually for you
Oh,
on a
I'm
Friday. You used to do new releases.
Yeah, I'm in.
But I saw something yesterday. I'm a little confused. I've got my thoughts, but I want to get Woods' opinion.
Okay,
Ben, I don't really need your opinion.
Fine.
Well, he's usually on his phone anyway during the Reindl Report, so it's fine.
I'll just
or watching
relax.
the Paralympics on his computer. Right.
Got a little time off, which is nice here.
Put
Ben
your feet
Woods, 97.3
And I got
fan.
that Stagecoach lineup for you.
Oh,
Can't
great.
wait. I think I just made a very difficult day for Ben Higgins even worse. And I apologize. I really do.
How could you do
Because the look on his face, Paulie, when I told him, he went a little bit white.
Like, you knew who you were talking to here.
I know, but So Ben has to they have to put their family dog, Reggie, down today.
By the way, thank you to everybody who's reached out, offered their love and support.
Shout out to his family.
Yeah, shout out to your family. It's you.
Ben.
Best wishes, yes.
So Reggie will cross the Rainbow Bridge today, and you had mentioned earlier that you are going to bring him home. You know, you're gonna wait. They're going to send it to you.
They asked me what did I want, and I said, I don't know. And then I talked to Shelley. She said, "Oh no, we want him back.
Of course,
his cremated remains.
Yeah, it's his ashes.
Yes,
and they do that, you know, and they send it back.
They told me, well, they're going to do it anyway. Either you can get them back or not.
Right.
They gave me the option, one or the other, yes or no.
And you thought that was on the house.
Well, I assumed. I mean, it's either they're doing it anyway, so it's just whether you want to go pick them up or not.
Now I told him
They usually give you like a paw print.
You'll have some, the sweet paw print, which is really sweet. But they have like a few different options that you have to choose from, and then you get it back. They don't front you that urn.
No, I don't need a golden urn. Cardboard box is fine. Shoebox.
Cardboard
shoebox
box.
Is fine.
So unfortunately, just again,
shoebox.
That's not an option.
It's not an option.
No Ziploc bags for you.
Shoebox is not an option.
So when I told him roughly the prices of that coming back your way, his face went white, and he's like,
"Oh my goodness!"
He's like, "You're kidding?" No, Paulie's like, "Yeah, we just did it. I mean, it's pricey. It's pricey." So he's looking and going, "Do we really need to do this?" And I think the answer is unequivocally yes. You have to, but it is pricey. I didn't want you to walk in and get sticker shocked in an already bad moment. I was trying to prepare you for what's going to happen.
And I certainly wouldn't ever want to just stop by on the way home and pick up,
a bag, a Ziploc bag full of your dogs. Here, you guys wanted this.
No, just something I just, somebody had a fire and just scoop them in with myself and go. No one will ever know.
You're going to dupe your. Here's the problem. It's not the ashes that are expensive. It's the urn, and the paw print.
I didn't ask for an urn or a paw print.
Well, it's not an urn in the sense of like a big urn. It's like a box, but it's wooden.
I'm not
it's got a little lock on it.
Casket here.
Oh man, you're in for it, dude. I'm telling. It's probably what it's like $300 to $500.
I think we paid for the service, come to the house.
Yeah, that's different. That's more
expensive. Is fine.
Sure.
But it was all included, and then the cremation. And
it's all inclusive.
It was like
a Cabo vacation. Yeah,
I think it was like $600.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's the American plan.
So when I told him his face, he couldn't believe that it just wasn't but I'm paying for the service. Then they give me, no, it's extra. You'll have to, there's like a form. Would you like this one or this one or this one with the lock on it and the nameplate?
LSN says we have our dog and cat just chilling in the closet. $500 later. I don't want that. That's not what I want.
No.
Well, you don't want to spend the money for it.
Right. Well, I don't really want it sitting in a closet either.
Right. You put it out on a mantle.
I don't really want
put
that.
It next to the pickle.
I don't want it on a mantle.
Ben has a Civil War pickle in his house. It's my favorite thing. It's a pickle in brine from the Civil War. It's like 200 years old.
Now, Maggie says in our chat, when I went to pick up my beloved cat's ashes in a lovely box, they gave me the wrong remains.
How do you know?
How do you know?
I don't know. But I guess double check.
I don't know that I'll know what to look for.
Ours is it's weird because we have this big bureau, but it's got a wire grating through it. Like you can see like through it. We have all of our bobbleheads on one side and we have like 9 dead animals on the other side, along with some books. It's there. So
fiction, nonfiction, what are we
mostly music bios. There's my Nikki Sixx bio, and then my dead dogs are under it.
And cats.
And yeah. So yeah, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't.
Mandalorian bobblehead.
Yeah, right next to all the dogs. I didn't want to ruin your day, but I did want you to be prepared when you walk in, and when they hit you with here, if you just pick which one you like, and we all know you're picking the cheapest option.
Well. I mean, we've got tier ones who have all been very supportive. If I divvied them up in like little vials. Would anyone like to buy some from me?
Put on the merch. Put it on the merch store.
Some of the costs.
If you want some of Ben's dog, go to Ben and Wood's merch store. You buy a vial of Reggie, and it can help you offset the cost. Yeah, I like that idea. Oh, man. Sorry, it is. This day sucks for a lot. It sucks in a lot of ways. Here's the thing I know about Ben though. He's gonna be upset. Then he's gonna get home and be like, "Oh look, golf's on," and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
I'm already $10 down from you staying the entire game last night, which was stunning.
It was stunning for me. It was stunning for me as well. Well, we love you. I'm sorry.
All right, well, we'll check traffic. Then Paulie's got a Reindl report that apparently will not involve me at all.
You at all.
Next.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. Just a few problems here. Crash on southbound 15 past Arrow Drive. Those vehicles are in the center divide. Also an accident clearing on northbound 5 past Mile Carseway. That's over to the right shoulder. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a stalled pickup truck westbound 78 past Emerald. That is in the center divide. The daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with bets as low as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. Want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you. Viejas Casino and Resort. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. We just got a tweet, Paulie, from Mark B&SD. He said, one time I went to pick up my dead cat at the vet. They put him in the freezer to preserve him. He wouldn't fit in the casket I bought because his legs were frozen and sticking out. Long story short, I returned the casket and buried him in a bag. A.K.A. Benjamin. Ben's like, so I'm looking at this. I see the cost. Should I just do this at home?
Well,
could I do this myself?
There's not going to be any burial because I read Pet Cemetery when I was like 14 and never got over
100%.
that.
Never.
So
I never got over that.
That's never happening.
No. Zelda. Oh, God.
Gage.
Oh.
Hi, Daddy. I love you, Daddy.
Never happening. No chance.
That book and movie scared the absolute bejesus out of me, man.
Goodness gracious, Stephen King. You are
Got
a
me
monster.
good.
All right, we got to go quickly here. I got one more note on last night's game.
Okay.
So there was a play in the fourth quarter. You see it fairly often. Mahomes scrambled and he ran up the sideline. And as he was kind of crossing out of bounds, he got hit pretty good and hit the ground. They did not call a flag for late hit, roughing the passer. But there was a lot of pushing and shoving. Of course, all of his Mahomes' linemen, they get in that guy's face. Everyone's kind of pushing and shoving. You see that all the time in football. What you don't always see is comments after the game, like we heard from Roquan Smith from the Ravens. They asked him about that play, and he explains why there was no flag called.
Oh, he flopped. Yeah, he flopped. That's why the referees didn't call it. It was a great call by a great no call by the ref. But whoever 88 is, I don't know who he is, but he better watch himself. He did a little slick push.
Was there somebody on the sideline that pushed you as well?
Yeah, whoever number 88 is, I have no idea who he is, but I'll see him when I see him.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That
like,
is
oh,
incredible.
Okay.
All right.
Those are fighting words.
I like spicy post-game audio a lot. Big fan.
Me too.
Big fan.
We don't see it enough, I don't think.
No, I agree.
For football, especially.
There's
These
all
guys
that
are going at each
testosterone
other.
out
You
there.
don't see it too much after the game's over, but yeah. heard that.
That's good.
All right, so I saw a ton of videos yesterday, this morning, going around from one of my favorite bands of all time, Linkin Park. Now, they disbanded in 2017 or 18 after the death of Chester Bennington.
Yep.
That one really got me.
I was live on the air for that.
That was horrific to hear that news. But they have not been doing anything for the last 7, 8, 9 years. And they had a private concert, a small, intimate show last night in Los Angeles, and everyone goes, is Linkin Park getting back together? How do you do that without Chester Bennington? And they got a new lead singer. Her name is Emily Armstrong, and I'll play a little.
Wait.
Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in young toe, just caught in young.
Like they are playing the classics.
I know I'm not part of this Reindl Report today. You might as well take me off the stream. So they replaced a guy. I'm assuming Chester was a guy.
Yeah, he passed away.
With a girl as their lead singer. That's quite a different sound.
It is.
Now, we've seen this before. When a member of a band passes away, the band can continue.
Sure.
I don't. It's a lot tougher when it's
Journey,
the lead
Eagles.
singer, the front man.
Nobody died in Journey.
No, but they've replaced the singer with usually a similar sounding singer to the one before.
Right.
This doesn't
It
sound
felt
that similar.
weird.
Right?
It felt weird to hear her singing Chester's lyrics that were so famous from the 2000s. I kind of was like, hey, if you guys want to keep it rolling, that's fine. Have a career. Maybe start a new band.
I think I kind of shared your sentiment, and then I thought about AC/DC, and Bon Scott died, and they just hired Brian Johnson, and they didn't call them. They just stayed AC/DC, and they had a monster career after Bon Scott passed away.
Queen went on after Freddie Mercury.
They did, yeah, and they just called it Queen. I guess it's okay. The fact that it's a woman singer, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. If you just want to be Linkin Park but with a female voice, yeah, okay. Let me see. I don't want to hear some more.
That's fine, but it's a completely different band now.
Yeah. Chester had like a high. She sounds good. I mean, she sounds pretty good. Are they? And they're going to be doing like a new record and
I
everything
haven't
else.
seen any of those announcements yet, but the fact that they did
they have
a show,
they have a new single out.
They do have a new single.
I saw people talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, good for them. Yeah, carry on. If you drop dead, I'm carrying on for about 3 more years.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just solo artist.
No,
you're going
find
to
a
replace
partner.
me.
Yeah, I'll replace you. Yeah,
But we will.
Darnay Tripp. Where are you, buddy? I want someone.
Will you still call it Ben and Woods though? Because they're not changing the name of the band.
No, Woods and Darnay.
No. I think you have to keep the name.
Ben and Woods.
Ben and Woods.
With featuring Darnay Tripp and not Ben.
Featuring Darnay.
We'll have Ben's ashes right there on the window.
Yes, on the mantle. So,
next to Bob
by the way,
Wetz.
my friend Doug Downing just sent me a DoorDash gift card in honor of Reggie. Turn this into a moneymaker somehow, one way or another.
That man, Doug is
Thank
one
you,
of the
Doug.
sweetest
Doug,
guys.
you are an
Nice.
angel, man.
He works for Rancho
Doug Brienne,
Coastal
thank you very
Humane
much. Yeah.
Society. He did
So-
the same thing to me. He sent me a $50. He goes, the last thing you need to worry about tonight is dinner. And
Oh, that's
that one's so
sweet.
far.
Doug's an angel, man. So if you drop dead, because I want someone similar, right? I want a sports guy. I need the heavy sports guy.
I see your mistake. There's no one like me.
That's true. I feel like I'm looking at Darnay and I'm like trying to get him to do bits, and he'd be so mad. And because most sports guys take themselves very seriously, and their sports takes are very serious.
And mine are not.
You want them to be, but I poke holes in them.
That's fair.
All right. What's the last one, Paul? Quickly.
We got the Stagecoach lineup that you hinted at earlier. So Stagecoach was yesterday.
They
I didn't
announced
even know-
yesterday.
They made the announcement yesterday for their 2025 lineup.
You know
And-
what may surprise you is I kind of want to go.
Okay. Well, I know why. So I'm looking at the headliners.
2 reasons.
Zach Bryan, Jelly Roll, and Luke Combs.
Yeah.
I don't know much. I've heard of Luke Combs. Don't know much about him. I started to listen to a little bit of Jelly Roll. I like it.
I just like jelly rolls.
I really like Zach Bryan. I like his music.
Mhm.
And then I'm
Dude.
looking at some of the lower names. Brothers Osborne, Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del
That
Rey
one-
will be there. She's doing some country things now, so I'm in on that.
That one was
Sturgill
confusing.
Simpson is
Yeah.
playing.
Oh, Shelley loves Sturgill Simpson.
I love Sturgill Simpson. Sammy Hagar, the great Sammy
That's
Hagar,
the
will
one I
be
go,
there.
Okay, that was interesting.
Backstreet Boys will be there, Ben, along with Creed. I'm in.
Shabuzi.
1,000%. Goo Goo Dolls will be there.
Austin Snell, no relation to Blake.
You don't know
I
that?
don't know that.
I don't know that, actually. Might be
Actually,
related to
Nikki
Blake.
Lane is fantastic. I'm actually for the first time in my life considering. Foster already texted me, "Hey, just imagine, man, us tearing it up." And
Guy
I said, "All right,
Fieri's
maybe."
Stagecoach Smokehouse.
Yeah, it's where you eat.
Yeah,
I've been to
sounds pretty good.
Stagecoach once. It was fine. It was fine.
Diplo's honky tonk.
I think I know more people on the Stagecoach lineup than any of the recent Coachella lineups.
Me too, buddy. But Zach Bryan's good. Lana's great. Sturgill's amazing.
Problem is, I would need the VIP hookup.
And
like,
I
don't want to deal with the you got to walk for so long.
Maybe Hannah will want to go
Sit
and bring
so far in the back.
Maybe Hannah will want to go and bring 11 kids with us.
Tommy James and the Shondells.
Are they going to be there?
Yeah.
Is that Sherry?
Yeah,
And that's Frankie Valli.
That's Frankie Valli in the
All
Four
right.
Seasons.
Oh, we got Mike Shildt next.
Oh, that's right.
See who he's most excited about. Stagecoach.
That could be a Stagecoach
Hello,
fan
Jelly
for
Roll.
sure. Mike Shildt, Manager's Report, next year on 97.3 The Fan. Final hour on a Friar Friday. It is Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan, and that means it is, yes, time for our manager's report. Joining us right now, Skipper Mike Shildt from the San Diego Padres, brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking. It is better. Mike, it is good to have you on. It's probably nice for you to be back at home this week. There was a long road trip, a lot of games in a row, so welcome back to San Diego.
Thank you very much. Good to be back, as always. Love the city, and good to play in Petco.
It was as stressful as last night might have been for you and closer Robert Suarez, Mike. I had 11 kids under the age of 7 in a suite out at Petco Park. So I saw what happened on the field. I was there, and I thought to myself, I think I still had a worse night. What can you say about your closer Robert Suarez? And it's such a bummer to watch that happen to a guy that has been so great all season long.
Yeah, I think he reminds us how we can't take for granted what a tremendous job he's done for us, and he's a huge part of being putting us in the position we're in. And, listen, I mean, the other side tries too, man. He's throwing 101, got to put a swing on it, and got the good part of the bat, and, that's the game. But, look, Robert's been a huge part of what we do, and trust him completely, and, we'll go back and get him tonight.
So I saw your post-game, press conference. I wasn't surprised, but you didn't seem worried at all that, something like that is going to affect your team going forward. And I'm not surprised. You guys have bounced back many times this year and never shown any inkling of, reason to be concerned. But, as a former minor league manager, when you managed guys who may not have had experience like your current players, do you ever say things like after a tough game like that? I mean, what kind of you feel is the manager's role there?
Well, that's a good question. It's a from a player development standpoint, there's so many variables that can go into that. Generally speaking, yeah. I mean, listen, we didn't enjoy the end result last night, but there's not an overreaction to anything. I think really just regardless of level, you're always looking to identify how did we win, what didn't happen that we would have liked to have been different, could we have changed anything, and then you take the inventory of it. And so again, regardless of level, you look up and you say, all right, was there good competition? Was guys into the competition? Absolutely. Were guys prepared? Absolutely. Were guys aggressive? Absolutely. Did it work out? Yes, great. Repeat. Did it not work out for one of those other variables, or and again, it's a general question, so it's a general answer. So you explore what could you have done different, what led up to it, what was your mindset, what was the decision-making process, and if you did you prepare for that situation, and then you just take it as you undress it, and then you walk through it and you learn from it, or ideally you grow confidence from it. No, I was prepared. I was thinking the right way. I was aware of the situation. I was in the moment. I did compete well. I was, being aggressive and trusting my ability. Heck, man, good for you. So just kind of go through that process, that checklist, and see where it falls. There's a learning curve to some of it physically or emotionally or from a preparatory standpoint sometimes.
Talking to the skipper, Mike Shildt, here on Ben and Woods this morning. And Shildt, this may not surprise you, but I answered a question on Twitter the other day, and I think I was talking out of my rear end, and that's the part that won't surprise you. But somebody had asked me, we had called Diaz up. They said, well, when are we going to see Diaz? I said, hey, relax. It's a catcher, right? He's a catcher. He's got a lot of new pitchers to learn, and it's got me thinking about it. When you trade for a catcher mid-season, and he's got to come over, learn a whole new slew of pitchers, that's got to be the toughest position for a team to trade for, right? And can you tell us what goes into getting a new catcher ready to catch your staff?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's an onboarding process that I feel really good about our staff being able to help with our players, whether it was the pitchers we acquired at the trade deadline or our position players that have come in over the course of the season, and being able to get them up to speed of how we compete, how we prepare, how we think about games. how we just go about our processes. Catching is, probably the biggest challenge. The good news about Diaz is he's a very established guy in the league, played a lot of baseball in his life, really high baseball IQ guy. The one thing I love about the game, doesn't really care about your socioeconomic status or your language or anything else. Just knows if you can play it, and if you know how to play it, then you can usually assimilate pretty quickly into an environment, which Diaz can and has. But to your point about the pitching, there's a bigger role for the catcher because most players just need to basically take care of themselves, and in their general area. But the catcher is responsible for himself, and now 14 other pitchers that he needs to understand how they operate, what they like, and how they think, and how they like to go about things, where they like targets and all that different things. So, there's an onboarding process. Brian Esposito, who works with our catching and also is, effectively really our bench coach and doing a great job, onboarded Diaz and had a relationship with back when they were both together in Pittsburgh. And Herbie Andrade, who also is our bullpen catcher, had him in Pittsburgh. So that helped with the onboarding. And I was really pleased with Higgy and Campy. They didn't look at it as a threat necessarily. For Diaz to come in, those guys have both done a good job clearly for us this year, and helped him with the process of understanding how we operate and the different pitchers and the nuances. And of course, Diaz did his part. So gave him 4 days to acclimate and get caught up to speed, and got him in there.
So, Mike, we do a Thursday roundtable with all the hosts talking Padres baseball. I'm sure you know this. You probably never miss it. But in case you did yesterday, we discussed with the return of Joe and Yu Darvish and Fernando Tatis Jr., the team is looking really complete right now. Rotation, bullpen, lineup, a very formidable roster that you guys have put together. So I know you're also, and you've told us, the kind of manager who, after a win or a loss, you go back and think about what you could do differently, what could go wrong. So what is it now that would still keep you up at night, when things are going really well for this team?
I don't lose any sleep.
Okay.
I spend 13 hours a day working at it. So when the day's complete, I take inventory at the end of the game, make my notes, and take my shower. And I can't say that I don't think about something at the end of the day, but the day is productive and efficient, and spent towards doing everything that we can as a staff to get us ready to compete and have those whatever questions that may be out there answered. And then when you do that, you can have peace of mind. So the reality is, when you're in my seat, there's always a question to be answered, and it changes multiple times over the course of a day, depending on a lot of different variables. And you just learn to adjust to what that looks like and figure out a way to find a solution to them. But you can't. There's not one thing that is ever going to be there, because it cannily, it rotates.
Talking to the skipper, Mike Shildt, here on Ben and Woods this morning, and it's funny because I was at the game last night, and they showed when Mason McCoy dropped that bunt down. Now, not a reviewable play. You came out and wanted to talk to Phil Cuzzy, and the funny thing is, the umpires all get together, and the replay's right there on the big screen behind them. I know you can see it, and they can see it as well. And they still. What did you see? What do you say when you go out there to talk to Phil?
Well, like you said, it's not reviewable. I think you could debate whether it should be. I personally think, it should be a reviewable play. It's a tough call for the plate guy. I don't know how. Phil's doing his best, and he said he's a good umpire. It's a good crew. I like the crew a lot. And they always want to just get it right.
Sure.
He said, he came out based on his reaction and based on the ball, but he, can he really see that? No, he's got a big catcher standing in front of him. He's got another player in front of him, and it's 2 feet away at his, at the feet. So it's at best his best guess, which it's all he can do, right? That's what his job is. And then I applauded him for asking for help, and but again, based on that angle, that's a really hard call for even the guys on the bases. I probably had as good a view as anybody, because I'm looking at it from a completely side angle.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't have that benefit. However, they do on a replay. And so, but by rule, it's not reviewable. I applaud them for at least asking and talking. They didn't see anything that would have overturned their partner, and they went down the road.
One thing I always like on your post game news conferences, one of the guys, AC or AJ, and they bring something up in the game, and you always it's something like you wanted to point out, you go, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to give you that chance here. You've gotten a lot of contributions from different guys all season long. Who's one guy on your team or your coaching staff that you think hasn't gotten enough recognition for the job that they have done this season?
Great question. It's hard to narrow that down to one.
Sure. Give me 2. Give me 3. Give me 10. Whatever you want.
Yeah. I think it's an ideal time to really recognize the staff. I mean, listen, we're here for the players, and the players, they pull the weight. They take care of the business. We do our part to set them up to be as successful as they possibly can, but they get all the credit. And clearly it's a very special group that every day is looking to compete regardless of circumstances, which sounds easy, but is really a challenge and way harder said than done. And this is a team that's doing that. But our staff has been outstanding. I really, no order, and there's a ton of support staff. And the one thing I'll say is, including myself, we're all support staff, field staff, training staff. There's no caste system in servant leadership, and we just all have our jobs to do. Some are just more out in front than others, but all are important. And, our field staff has been outstanding. I mentioned Brian Esposito has done a tremendous job. Ruben Diego obviously does a tremendous job of the pitching with Ben Fritz, our bullpen coach, and Peter Somerville does a lot of game planning. I mentioned, Herbie Andrade, also a catch, does our bullpen catching and helps with the catchers and does a lot of behind the scenes stuff that, just gets done in a positive manner. Of course, Victor Rodriguez has been tremendous, taking over our hitting. I mean, not enough can be said about what Victor's meant to this club, but he's got good help. Mike McCoy and Adam Sullivan have come up through the system and have been a big part of our hitting and do a great job. And, their care factor is extremely high. And, we got really good base coaches. Tim Leeper's done a really good job at third and helps with does our infield work. And David Macias, has done a great job at first with the base running and outfield play. And, so those guys have been tremendous. And, the staff's been great. And, listen, there's a lot of support, but our medical staff is tremendous as well. Mark Rogo and does a great job. He's got a lot of trainers there. And, just these guys are phenomenal with the work they do to keep our guys on the field and the amount of work and effort they put into it. And Scott Hacker, our rehab guy, has done a tremendous job. Unfortunately, he's been kept pretty busy this year, but he's been up to the task and gotten guys back on the field and ready to compete again. Our strength conditioning guys are fantastic. Jay and Rio, we travel, and TJ Lacita, TJ Laylaw, and the clubhouse guys are first class. I mean, we've got an elite staff. We got a group, including our research and development. The analytic group does a great job. Adam Esquire and his group, and guys who help us game plan and video with Jim McHugh does a lot of the advanced work for us, and Joe McAlpin and Adam Hunt on the video stuff. I mean, it's just a really good staff. That doesn't get a lot of credit. They don't want and seek credit. We're there to do our jobs and give the credit and build the players up. But it is a good time to recognize what we do as a staff and the group that's done a tremendous job that I've been really tickled to partner with to work every day to make sure we leave no stone unturned. And if people knew the amount of effort and preparation that went in daily, it probably blow their minds. But it's a dedicated group that has a strong desire to excel and has done a great job.
Much like this show, Skip, with the dedication and preparation every single day here for Ben and Woods. Shildt, I did want to we let you go here in a minute. How's Hassan Kim doing? Any updates on him? I know you probably get tired of answering these questions, but we always kind of like to end with kind of that last piece of the team that everyone would love to see back there playing shortstop.
Yeah, he's moving in a positive direction. He's able to swing the bat without any discomfort, which is good. And so he's taking some live at bats today. He's getting closer to his progression of play, and he's starting to throw across the diamond, still in a progression that, is positive, but, probably slower than everybody would like, including himself, but necessary. Because we got to be careful. I mean, he can't, dealing with the injury he has, he lets it go and he has a setback, then that's going to, be real problematic for the time we have remaining in the season, which we feel good about being a long time. But, still it's not something we want to have a setback on, and we're taking our cue from him. But he's making his progress, and he's throwing across the diamond, which is encouraging, and just a matter of getting his intensity back to where he can do it and feel like, he's going to be back and healthy and be able to make all the plays.
Well, I know we still got a few weeks left, hopefully many weeks left going into October, but I just wanted to say thank you. This has been a really fun season. As a lifelong Padres fan, you've put a good team together, not just you, but everybody, and it's been really entertaining, and hopefully we got more of it coming up starting this weekend against the Giants. Good luck, Mike.
Yeah, we're excited about tonight. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Mike Shildt, manager of the San Diego Padres, or Manager's Report, brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking. It is better. It's almost stunning, and obviously it was like the credits of the Oscars there at the end with all the but how many people do go into day to day keeping those 26 guys on the field? All we see is really the game and maybe a coach or two, but there are so many guys that you probably don't know their names, you never see them, that help those guys get ready every single day to play a baseball game.
Yeah, no doubt, man. The preparation too for every single game. It's overwhelming to think about what you have to do and play it from a player's perspective, from a coach's perspective too. Pretty gnarly.
It's always why I try to keep the perspective. As much as we fans obviously care, want to see our team do well, win and lose, and it feels just devastating when they lose like one last night. Believe me, the people who are putting in 13 hours a day on this, they actually care probably more than you do, even as the fan, whether they're going to be successful at the end of the day or not. No one's phoning it in there. So, anyway, good stuff from Mike Shildt. We had some good stuff from Jesse Agler on the Incorporator, and I felt so bad that we missed playing it yesterday. I want to give it one more play because he so nailed it. Let's get to that coming up, and then final segment, we'll look ahead to the Giants series starting tonight at Petco Park, all coming up after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. Thanks again to the skipper, Mike Shildt. By the way, we were just looking it up on ESPN.com. A definite Manager of the Year candidate in the National League. They have some metrics. It was weird. Paulie was going, somehow by their metrics, Dave Martinez of the Nationals is the quote-unquote front runner, but even they acknowledge he's not winning the award.
62 and 78 Nationals who are 22 games out of first place.
Yeah. They may have
outperformed. Front runner.
They've outperformed expectations. They've won some close games, which is usually good for managers. They're just too far back and irrelevant to be considered. No, it's really going to come down to three guys, and I agree with the analysis. Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers, and their expectations were pretty low this season, considering who they lost, and they have pretty much run away with the NL Central. So he's going to get a lot of interest, a lot of votes. Mike Shildt, who, again, the Padres slashing payroll, but improving tremendously across the board this year, and especially playing well in the second half and surging. That's going to give him a lot of support.
Sure.
And then the third one, which I hadn't thought so much of, but if Carlos Mendoza gets the Mets into the playoffs after their slow start and their disappointment from last year, he's also going to get some support. So a bit of a three-way race going into the last 3 weeks of the season for the National League Manager of the Year award, with Mike Shildt, they say, maybe being the slight favorite in their minds.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think you make a great case for there, and I think you make a great case for Pat Murphy as well. I mean, I feel like it's a two-man race, really, between those guys. But, yeah, I mean, I think, Shildt would trade that in for a ring in a heartbeat, just like Jackson Merrill would trade that Rookie of the Year for a ring. And, again, I'm not, after last night's loss, I'm not dissuaded from the hopeful feeling that I have about this team. But, I did say yesterday it's kind of a joke. I just want the playoffs to start now, today. Like, that's the last 3 weeks of the season are going to be fairly excruciating. And I decided too, I'm not going to really get nervous until this team loses 3 games in a row. I think that for me is that's when I'll start to get a little, little dicey. But they have not done that since when? July.
They lost that 5-gamer with the Mariners, 2-game sweep in there in July.
Yeah, and based on where we are in the standings, I mean that
I disagree though. I don't necessarily in any rush to get to the playoffs. Obviously, I want them to get there, but this will eventually, if you can get through your Ajita Woods, this is the best time. There should be a clinching celebration. This is what you're waiting for. You played 140-plus games already to get to this point where you actually have an opportunity to now get some actual good things that happen, like clinching a playoff spot and, figuring out where you're going in the first round of the playoffs.
Mine's more, it's always more health-related. That's because you asked me yesterday, what keeps you up at night? And I said health. I mean, really, I'm not worried about, Manny or Xander. I'm really not. I think these guys know what the goal is and what they need to do. Somebody getting hurt, somebody twisting an ankle or something, that's what always domes me out in the last 3 weeks of the season.
I can hand out one postseason award right now. It's not the one you think. First, baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile. You can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. The National League Radio Play-by-Play Broadcaster of the Year award was over before it even started.
They do that.
They don't, but if they did,
really should.
It would go to Jesse Agler, who always does such a phenomenal job. Even when we're throwing in Incorporator words, we only got a minute or two here, so I don't need the setup again. We had Welsh Fryer in on Wednesday. We told Jesse that he was supposed to work pelfas, the Welsh word for baseball, into the broadcast on Wednesday. And we didn't play it yesterday. I felt bad about it because he knocked it out of the park in the third inning. Here is Jesse Agler, the Incorporator.
First pitch from Matsui is taken low and outside, ball 1. So Matsui relieves Darvish, couple of Japanese-born pitchers. Great international game. This continues to become. Got Bogarts and Profar out there from Aruba and Curacao, respectively. Swing and a miss, 1-1, and I like learning all the different baseball terminology from around the globe. In a lot of places, they call baseball most of the time, though they do have words in their language specific to it. In the Netherlands, kind of famously now, honkball is what they call baseball, so you hear that in those ABC islands. 1-1 to Torkelson. Matsui, long pause. And the pitch hit in the air up the right field line. That's foul and out of play. In Japan, they say baseball a lot, but there is a Japanese word, yakyu. And another one I learned today, pelvas. In Wales is the way that they say baseball. That's your nugget of the game, presented by Chick-fil-A San Diego. With 21 restaurants in San Diego, you're never too far from the home of the original chicken sandwich. Come try the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich for a limited time.
He's an artist. Jesse is an artist.
That was verbal art.
Yeah, verbal art.
Getting in the sponsor as well.
Vart.
Vart.
As it were.
He's amazing.
You going to the game tonight?
No, I'm putting my dog down tonight.
Like that would stop you from... I'm sure you're teeing off at 2.
I'm not.
What time are you taking Reggie?
4:30.
And you'll be hitting balls before then, guaranteed. You playing golf before?
No.
I figure you'd be running from the goat to your appointment.
No.
What are you going to do all day?
Spend some time with him.
Like what?
Probably just sit. He doesn't do much other than
Just
sit.
hold him.
Go to the... We have a park right next door. Maybe sit outside
Get him
a
like a
little bit.
McDonald's cheeseburger.
I did that.
Thought about that.
I took
The-
Max
a
down.
A Star is Born, cook up a steak sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took Max
His,
to Mickey
his
D's.
digestion's not good, though. I don't know if that's probably wise.
I mean, it's
won't
his
be-
last
I
day.
guess
Won't matter.
it's- I got a little burger, took him down to the beach, let him stick his head out the window one last time. It was the most excruciating day of my life.
Ugh.
Excruciating.
Awful.
Died in my arms. It was horrible. It was like the worst day of my life.
I don't think I'm planning to, he's a very large dog.
He is.
Not going to be in my arms.
Sucks. Yeah, go. Do you feel emotional?
Yes.
He's lying.
What? I'm
at
not
him.
lying.
Look at him.
I'm not lying. I will cry.
Oh, yeah, you will.
I will.
I'm going to cry for you.
Yeah.
But I'll be okay.
Adam says, how about the dog food you advertise? Give him some of that.
Farmer's dog.
Farmer's dog.
Simply the best.
Even on their worst days.
They,
Simply
you know
the
what?
best.
They are a sponsor. I will shout out Farmer's Dog because we had Farmer's Dog for Jackson up until the end. And when we had to call ahead and let them know that we don't need those orders anymore, that sucks. You don't really think about it. And they sent us a little gift.
It's amazing.
Little care package or whatever, because they know whenever somebody cancels, they usually know what that means. And I thought that's a nice touch. Appreciated that.
It always makes me uncomfortable when he has feelings.
Yeah,
I'm all feelings.
because he's a robot. You're not supposed to have feelings.
I'm
Robots
all
don't have feelings.
I'm all feelings all the
It's
time.
just a self-defense mechanism. You know
of course. All right, let's go to break.
that. The more robotic I am, the less I have to feel.
It's true. Therapists could really do some wonders with you. You'd need
Why? All I hold on to are the good emotions. The laughter, the smiles.
That's what you think.
You
That's all
would
I've got.
need a month in boot camp.
No anger, no sadness, just happiness, smiles all the time. That's what I'm all about. Things that I like, in fact. You'll probably hear a few of those in our last segment of the show.
And some new ones.
Yes, the very new edition, if you missed it. The brand new Things
new.
Ben Likes. Next on 97.3 The Fan. excited about for our final segment.
I did have something.
He just can't remember what
can't remember what it was.
So
It was really
you're now
good.
on the clock. You got like 15 minutes left to think of what it was.
It was something really good. You guys really would have liked it.
And maybe you'll think of it.
Now the pressure's on.
Maybe you won't.
Absolutely will not. My brain is mush.
Maybe you need an assistant. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. With contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need and manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com. We used to work with another radio host at another station who had an assistant, and she was great. Loved her. I always thought it seemed like a little too much, though, for a radio host to have an assistant. But now I'm sort of starting to see the potential appeal of having some help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. It's something that's a major point of contention in our home right now. My wife and I are discussing trying to find some maybe part-time help to do a couple of pickups, a couple of soccer practices, things like that.
You need a nanny. Is what you're looking for.
No, or like I don't know. I don't know if you'd consider it. In my mind, when I hear nanny, like she's there all the time.
You are
like,
describing exactly what a nanny does.
Like raising your kids, though.
It's essentially just a regular babysitter. It's kind of a nanny. You can go European and call them an au pair, but it's kind of the same thing. So nanny doesn't have to live with you in your house.
I'm not joking when we told
You
Bo.
can get a Manny.
Yeah, I could get a Manny.
This is Manny Machado.
I loved that Sports Center commercial. Remember that one?
No.
Manny the Manny. He was daycare, and he was just wearing his sunglasses, and the kids were running like in your suite last night.
Right.
They were running roughshod all around the place. He was doing nothing, but he was the Manny.
Was Manny
taking
Machado?
care of all the
Ramirez.
like the kids of the Sports Center anchors? No, Manny Machado.
Manny Machado. I don't remember that.
You don't remember that one? That was phenomenal. This is Sports Center ad. We've hired a Manny to help take care of our kids.
I told Bo last night we're going to try to find somebody that can help us out a little bit. He goes, it's because we suck. I go, what? He goes, it's because we suck. And I go, no, it's not because you suck. And he goes, well, what is it? I go, well, we need to spend time together too. Your mother and I. It's important. It's going to make us better parents in the long run. He goes, it's because we suck. And I like, bro, it does. Sometimes it's nice to have somebody else pick you up from school or take you to swim or take you to the park or stuff mom and I can't do all the time. And he's like, all right, this kid. He called me last night. We were driving to the game, and we were breaking balls, and he goes, you're a manipulate. And I go, what did you say? He goes, you're a manipulate. And Hannah goes, oh, don't worry. He told me the other day he got manipulated at school. And he goes, yeah, somebody punched me. And I said, that's not manipulated. Kudos to trying to wedge a big word in, but you clearly have no idea what you're talking about. So this kid, he's like, bro, he's like a 40-year-old. So yeah, we're talking about that in the house. It's like maybe trying to find somebody that can.
Dominic says Mr. Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere would be incredible.
A butler is what you need.
A butler would be great.
I'd be so jealous if you had a butler.
Yeah, it would be great.
A valet? Have you ever thought about that?
No, but I don't need an assistant. I need somebody to pick my kids up a couple of times a week. Take them to soccer practice or something. That's it.
Have you thought of what we're doing in this final segment?
That was it, I think.
All right. Well, we do have to look ahead to this Giants series.
Let's go.
We got the matchups for you. We will do that right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. Not too bad of a wrap-up after a very busy morning. Cordell traffic cam shows this one crash at the clearing stage. Westbound 8, the 163. It's been moved over to the right shoulder. In peak wildfire season is the last resort. SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, big game tonight. Padres opening a 3-game series against the Giants. First of 6 games against the Giants in their next 8 games. 6 of their next 8 games are against the Giants. So this will go a long way toward determining, where the Padres end up at the end of this season. And tonight's game, of course, you want to erase the taste, the sting of last night's defeat. And you got Michael King, a well-rested Michael King, on the mound against Mason Black, who has an ERA over 7.
Yeah, I thought it was Logan Webb. He's tomorrow.
This is one you kind of want to get. This is an important one, I think, for the San Diego Padres. Not that they all aren't, but
bounce back, baby.
Bounce back. You've got the pitching matchup advantage. We've seen games where the Padres have struggled against high ERA, unknown quantities at starter, but not necessarily with the full Death Star lineup, which they've almost got back with everybody but Ha-Sung Kim. So go out, take care of business tonight. It's a 6:40 first pitch, 5:40 Eco Water SoCal pregame show with Sam Levitt. And it's not on Padres.tv. This is another Apple TV game, which means if you are watching, you can switch over the audio channel. Sometimes it takes a moment or two to click in, but it worked last time.
Yeah.
And listen to Jesse and Tony rather than the Apple announcers during the game, which is
really
fantastic.
It's really weird, though, because they'll cut down to, like, the sideline reporter, and she's standing there talking, but then you hear Tony and Jesse in the background. It doesn't match up, but it's way better than what they're going to give you on the broadcast.
I agree. Now, great pitching matchup tomorrow. Saturday game, 5:40. That one's Dylan Cease, Logan Webb.
Nice.
That's a really good, solid matchup. Probably the one that will determine either the series or whether the Padres can pull off a sweep.
Sure.
And then on Sunday, Joe Musgrove against Kyle Harrison, who's the young up-and-comer for the San Francisco Giants. He's had a bit of an up-and-down season, but he's certainly got a good arm and good stuff.
Good stuff.
By the way, that is also an Apple TV Plus game. They're just kind of camped out this weekend at Petco Park. So Don and Mud
And then I saw
getting
Don
2 of the next
said
3
he's gonna
days
be in
off.
Boston this
Don's
weekend.
going to be in Boston
No
this
Don at all this
weekend.
weekend.
Oh, my God.
Well, this is a good weekend for it. He's only missing one game by being gone the whole weekend because he would have only done Saturday's game. So
He walks.
So Jesse probably does TV on Saturday then?
He walks in the streets of Boston like a Greek god, right? Like a Greek, like a mythological figure.
Well, he had the misfortune, of course, of being let go by the Red Sox. But in a way, it's kind of a hidden blessing.
Oh, yeah, huge.
Because everyone is on his side. He can do no wrong now.
Correct.
He goes back there, and
Yeah.
he's simply the returning hero every single time.
And he got to call the best period in Red Sox history.
And he's missed kind of the worst now, and again,
Yes.
kind of the down period again.
And he's here in San
It's
Diego.
in San Diego.
The Padres are on the come. Like, this is perfect
I'm
for him.
sure it sucked and was probably one of the worst moments of his professional career when they let him go.
Yeah.
Might have been the best thing that ever happened to him.
No doubt. I mean, he truly like gets the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
They're the villains. He's the hero.
And now he's beloved in 2 places, and he's got to be a part of this Padres team and organization, and he gets to live in San Diego and fish and
cook.
Coronado and cook. And I mean, it's one of those lessons in life. And I'm sure Don could tell it better than I could if we could ever convince him to wake up early enough to come on the show.
He won't.
That sometimes your worst moment actually helps you out, moving forward. You don't see it at the time. You never want to hear it. This could be a good thing for you. You're just like, no, this is my nightmare.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
never
what
going to get better.
And Don has turned it into a giant win.
Huge win.
Back in Boston, huh?
Back in Boston.
The Red Sox can't like that.
No.
So really, you couldn't find anyone else to do this game? You're bringing Don here.
Jeffrey
Thanks a
says
lot.
Sunday is the free game of the day, not an Apple TV game. That is the free game on. Is it on
Apple
TV? It's on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Going to be on Apple TV.
Maybe it's free, but it's on Apple TV.
It's free on MLB.com.
MLB.com
is the free of the day or whatever.
Well, you can stream the Apple TV broadcast on MLB.com on Sunday.
Okay.
But it is the Apple TV broadcasters. And then an off day on Monday, 2 against the Mariners in Seattle, and an off day next Thursday. So I'd imagine that Robert Suarez will be down tonight after 2 in a row and 4 and 5. But
If he comes out tonight, all right.
who knows? Hopefully, when you're going up against Mason Black and you've got Michael King going, you don't need your high leverage relievers at the end of the game. That would be nice.
That
Go
would
ahead.
be lovely.
Go ahead. Build a nice, comfortable lead. And we'll see Brian Hoeing and Adrian Morihone close out the last couple of innings.
Literally nothing would make me happy.
Would be fantastic. That would be something that I would like tonight if it happened. For other things that I like, Paulie has come up with is this the 4th iteration?
4th installment, yeah.
4th iteration of things Ben likes. Enjoy. I like the tanginess of the cranberry. I like reflecting. I like old-time rock and roll, too. You know I do. I like NIL. I like my standard, very uninteresting haircut. I do like hearing people talk about how well it's going for the Padres. I like numbers. Oh, I like the bits. I like to be educational. I like when I get up, have a glass of cranberry juice cocktail. I like Adam Major. I do like butterscotch. I like your tweets a lot. I still like this deal. I like to live my life after another famous Benjamin Button. I like when the Padres take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. I would have liked to have tried something else. I like Darren. I've always liked Darren. I like watching LeBron and Anthony Davis. Sex by the fire at night, that's what I like. I like Jake Cronenworth. The last couple of days, I really liked his swings. I do like horses. I like the Padres lineup. I like when things just flow perfectly. But I like Indian food. I just like a good, honest answer. I've liked what I've seen from Donovan Solano so far. I like that idea. I like 18 games in 18 days. You know, I like where the Padres are. I like that we won as a team.
I do
all
too.
of us together. I like to picture people actually in a recording studio. I like the way the Padres play baseball. What I like is the variety of the wins.
Yeah.
I liked everything about this week.
Did you like everything about this week?
Well, it was a short week, which was nice. We started on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And now it's already
Like
over,
that.
which was good. That's like, makes it a little easier to get through the week.
Yeah.
For the most part, Padres played well and won their games until last night. I didn't like that. But
Yeah.
up until the last moment, I liked that game last night a lot. I mean, for 8 2/3 innings, and 2 strikes, I liked that game a lot.
Fantastic game.
Thought it was going to be the second 3-0 win of the series for a very long time. And then I didn't like it for a moment. But I get over it, and we had our 16 minutes of sulk, and we're moving on.
Yeah, if you're going down to the game tonight, stop by East Village Tavern and Bowl. I'm going to be jumping on the podcast with the boys from Divine Sports Gospel, saying hello. We're going to be bowling there with the wife and kids. We'll see how the first bowling outing as a family.
When's the last time you went bowling?
It's been ages. We did an event, Ben and Woods did, somewhere downtown.
Social.
Punch
Bowl.
Punch Bowl Social. It was awesome.
That was for the playoffs.
It was for the playoffs, and I bowled a little bit after, but I didn't bowl the full.
What's your average? What's your bowling average?
120.
120.
Yeah, 120, 130.
Not ready for the PBA tour then.
I am not ready for the PBA tour. I don't know if do they have little balls for the kids?
No, they have light balls, but they're still regular sized. I mean, it's a little smaller.
I rented the lanes.
They're not skee balls.
I rented the lane. Do they have bumpers on them?
They usually have the automatic. So yeah, if it's your turn and you got the kids, you hit a button, and the bumper just whoop, and they pop up, and then they go back down for the grown-ups.
So I rented the lanes for 2 hours. That's a bit excessive, isn't it?
That's a long time.
Your arm is going to fall off if you bowl for 2 hours and have not done it in years. Your arm is going to be useless for the rest of the weekend.
That is a waste of money.
Well, the good news
you could have
is
paid for 1 hour.
I'll be able to lick my wounds with a fresh margarita over at the Margaritaville Hotel where we'll be staying tonight.
There is a problem. 1 hour, sometimes you feel like you have to rush and get all your games in, and you're like sprinting to get to the end. 2 hours is way too long. My proposal, bowling should be 1 hour and 15 minutes is what each bowling reservation should be for. That would be the perfect time to bowl.
Yeah, that's not an option.
It's never an option. It's either 1 hour, which is just not quite enough to finish that last game, or 2, which is way too much, and your arm can never handle it.
Well, pop on down. We want to see that. Come down, watch the podcast. Good dudes. Excited to be down there.
Put some spin on it, or you do
I
more
go
of a straight ball?
I do straight and hard. This is how I do it.
That's how I do it as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend, Ben. Good luck today.
Thank you very much. Annie and Elston are coming up next.
Did you get the birria egg rolls yesterday?
Birria.
No.
Did not.
No, he was
supposed to go.
Being run ragged
I'll be there tonight,
around that suite.
and I needed to know where they are and are they worth it?
Nope.
Everyone says yes in the chat.
Yeah.
Go for them at the Ballast Point behind home plate. All right, Annie and Elston are up next with more bowling talk for Paul Reindl. For Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. right here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Thank you, everybody.